Yes, guys, you know what time it is. It's your boy David at the Irish Hotspur. Absolutely loving life after the robbery at Scunthorpe Bridge yesterday. Of course, as you can see beside me, we've got someone new in the building today. No Jack. Jack is away on holidays, but we are joined by Nick, a.k.a. Jake Knuckles. Nick, how are you keeping, my man?
I'm good, my man. Wait a minute. It's supposed to say Jack Kanicki under there. Did I misspell that? You know what? Back where I come from, we call this the Albany ham scam. You know, you just take one yank and you swap it for another and pretend like nothing happened. You know?
But Nick, what was your thoughts on yesterday's game, my man? I mean, daylight robbery didn't play well whatsoever.
No, it was a mess from top to bottom. You know, the majority of the game, but we showed something that we have not showed in a very long time, especially at that ground, which was a determination. You know, there was fear throughout, and I think that's what really we're gonna talk about that with the Harris Army faithful. But my question is, this is not the team that we've seen for the last couple of matches. This is not the team that we saw at the end of last season. We've seen each and every one of those starting 11 play a hell of a lot better than that. But there was disorganization. There was, a lack of planning going forward. Sloppy passes all over the pitch, clearances where you had no idea where was it supposed to be going to somebody? Was it supposed to be going out to the pitch, or were they just passing to the opposition just for fun? Yeah. So we got a lot to talk about, man, because I'm certainly not happy about it. When that first goal came in from Koulibaly, my heart sunk. I became a very upset person, man. And my kids just hid in the closet for the next 90 minutes, basically.
Look, for me, I couldn't agree more with you. I think the biggest question today, Nick, is, the first half especially, does that go down to the players' performance, where they just bad on the day, lack the technical quality that maybe Chelsea did, or does it go down to Conte's tactics? So I think that's the biggest question we have to find the answer.
That is the biggest question, man. Yeah.
Along with a lot of other things, I agree with you with a lot of the clearances. A lot of the clearances were sloppy. Like you said, you didn't know whether they were supposed to put them in the general direction of one of our players. But even that, though, Nick, we lost a lot of our first balls, second balls. And I think the reason why we weren't able to live with Chelsea is because they just played one-touch football. One touch, moved the ball, popped it round us, players running off the ball. First half, we didn't have any of that. We were having to take 4 or 5 touches, couldn't pass it 5 yards. No one dropping into spaces to receive the ball. It was very, very concerning. But we do have some news to get through. Lost in amongst all of yesterday's fiasco from the bridge was actually Giovanni Lo Celso has officially completed his loan move to Villarreal for the 2022-23 campaign. The deal contains a break clause in January to end the loan if they receive a bid from someone in that window and the player agrees to the move. Nick, are you disappointed we have not been able to sell him considering he's not a part of Conte's plans?
Well, it's a problem solved for 12 months, man. At this stage of the game, at this stage of the window, I think we got to do whatever. We're in desperation time for our outgoings completely. So it's any way to get him out of the team, any way to shift him. I don't think, though, that when you come down to it, the Celso, I think everybody thought there would have been a permanent taker at the beginning of the season. I think that the financial situation in La Liga, where his most likely destination would be, and even in Serie A, teams like Fiorentina, their financial situation isn't where they can just buy who they want at any time. So it has to be a structured deal set out. There may even be something behind that where, it's a loan now, but we expect you to be buying him. That's what I expect, As far as the other one on the books, man, I'm sure you're going to talk about, that's a whole different story. It's one of the worst albatrosses around any team's neck in the history of the Premier League, at least, and I will be shocked and elated for any loan move.
Yeah.
We know who we're talking about.
Yeah, and Falas, Ronald McDonald. Look, the thing is, it was rumored that it was close, but apparently it's come out over the last couple of hours that it's not actually close whatsoever. They're still deep in the
Surprise.
Look, for me, I think I don't blame Napoli. They're trying to get a deal favourable to them. Probably don't
Yeah.
want to stump up all of his wages. I think Tottenham would be looking to get all of his wages paid. So I presume that's probably what the stumbling block would be. But another bit of news to get to is Tottenham Hotspur have appointed Leonardo Gabbanini as the club's new chief scout. According to the Athletic, Gabbanini had been working in overseeing UK recruitment for the Pozzo-owned clubs Watford and Udinese, who coincidentally Destiny Adoje, who was at the training ground today, was at there last night underdoing his medical, signing his contract and stuff like that, and he will be loaned back to Udinese for the season. But along with Steinson and Gabbanini from Anderlecht, former Anderlecht coach Simon Davies has joined to be part of the academy setup. Andy Scalden moved from Rangers earlier in the summer. Now, it was reported back in January that Paratici wanted Tottenham scouting department to match other top clubs in the Premier League and in Europe with the aim of proving their efficiency in the future transfer window. So it is absolutely great to see that he is living on what he wants to do, and he's actually acting upon it, and he's done major work to bring in the right, what we hope is the right people. Look, Leonardo Gabbanini, I mean, Udinese have had a couple of terrific players there. Destiny Adoje, I believe, Manuel Molina, I think he played for them as well, you know what I mean? So he's had luck there. You look at some of Watford's players, Ismail Sarr, you've got that young Brazilian striker, Dennis, people like that. So, you know, hopefully this guy will come in and do the right job. Other bits of news as well, we've seen reported today, Tottenham have been linked with young Garner from Man United. Apparently we've been tracking him, and then we do hold some serious interest. Nick, look, I haven't really seen too much of Garner. I do know that he's very, very highly rated around Man United. Is this the sort of player that we need to bring in, though, to maybe, is he really going to solve any sort of problems in our squad?
You're giving me the stump job on this one, David. I don't know anything about him, man. What's his age and what's his position?
He's a youngster. I think he's only like 19, 20. I believe he's a centre midfielder.
Okay.
But look, we already got Papamar Sarr, so I don't understand the interest in him unless they really think he's going to be one for the future. And, you know, they're trying to get it done early, considering United are looking to offload him. And I know a lot of United fans are very unhappy with United actually looking to offload this guy. They actually want him to play.
Okay, well, you know what? I say good, and this is a drum I've been banging for a little while now, is that, you know, we know what our deficiencies are in the first team. You know, we need a center back. A lot of people screaming for a cam. I know we're going to talk about that later. But we have to be building for the future. Big teams do this, man. Juve, City, of course. Chelsea, talk about that. Historically, they bring in anybody who their scouting department thinks that they can afford at the time and send them out. You know, we all know about the trouble they got into for that. Yeah. What we have to do, it's recognized by people who are good at what they do in scouting and recruitment, that this is what you have to do. And it's not just that you're bringing in people for the first team. These are investments, man. And I know people don't like to really think about that. They want to look at the pitch. They want to see what the effect is right now. But you have to build for the future, and you have to make investments for the future. Some of these kids, Papi Matasar, we may like him right now, but he may be more value 2 seasons from now, selling him to another club. It's something that I know is very hard for people to accept. Especially when there's deficiencies in the first team. But it's part of being a big club, and I feel that that's what we have to be, man.
Well, if you look at it now, we've got young Scarlett out on loan who have the high potential for. You've got Parrott. You've got Destiny Adoje now. You've got young Jed Spence there. You've got Papamar Sarr. You've got Gil Messi and potentially this lad. So there is a clear plan or a succession plan going forward for the future, which excites me in a way when you look at it like that. That will actually keep Dark Sun G happy. Is rumours coming out this evening, Dark Sun G, that Tottenham are actually prepared to go and put in a bid for Kim Min Jae. They are looking at maybe bringing him in. So that would be very interesting to see if that happens. He only moved to Napoli, I believe. He's not there that long whatsoever. But reports coming out tonight are that Tottenham are looking at maybe going in for Kim Min Jae. Look, for me, I'm not going to go too much into it today. I will save a lot of it for tomorrow. But for me, I've been banging on about this centre back all last season, all summer long. And people are telling me, no, Dave, you're getting your priorities wrong. We need a calm. Well, yesterday we were atrocious going forward. Still scored 2 goals. But yet we could not keep them out. And it seems to be a recurring problem. Conceding goals from set pieces. Players being dragged out all over the place. It's just too easy back there. The Ben Davies, Reece James goal, that was easily avoidable. People tell me that we have a leader back there in Eric Dyer. Well, there's no communication back there, because if there was, that goal doesn't happen. It can't continue to keep happening. So we need to get someone else in here to either put a rocket up their arse or to come in and replace them if they're not going to do the job. But we'll take this super chat here from Dark Sung G. Says, Nunes got sent off at his home debut at Anfield, laughing my ass off. Would you rather dominate for 80% of the game and lose, or get a draw, or rather play bad and get a win or draw? Also, Palace beating Liverpool at the minute. I think that scoreline has changed, that country, since you put that in. I believe it's 1-1 now. But look, even Liverpool dropping points is good for us regardless, because we're looking to try and close the gap on Liverpool and City. So the more points City drop or Liverpool drop, the better it is from us, especially from the word get-go. Now, would I rather dominate for 80% of the game and lose or get a draw, or rather play bad and get a win or a draw? Look, I'll be honest, Dark Sun G, I'd rather us play well, to be honest with you. I just want to see us play some sexy football, the old push and run football that my old lad always keeps talking about. Just doing the basics correctly, silky football, creating chances, turning the ball over at every opportunity, harassing them, pressing them, taking the ball off them. I would much rather play well and get a win or a draw, to be honest with you, than play bad. Look, we got away with one yesterday with no point in sugarcoating it. We absolutely got away with it. But what I will say, all top teams, when they don't play well, they get out of there with a result and they just dust themselves down and go again for the next game. And that's exactly what we done yesterday. So for me, I'm happy with getting out of there the way we did, but there's some questions to be asked. I mean, Nick, just answer Dark Sun G. Would you rather dominate for 80% of the game and lose, or get a draw, or rather play bad and get a win or a draw?
So I don't think anybody was happy with the way we played for at least for 80 minutes of those 95 minutes, 96 minutes that we were on the pitch there. It's great that we squeaked one by it, but it shines a light on the deficiencies. It really does. I think it made every single one of us question whether we're as confident going into the season as we were last week. So when it comes right down to it, I don't like that. I don't want to feel that anxiety, man. Absolutely not. So the answer to that is no. I would rather play well and squeak by a draw, maybe on some bad decisions where I can, where I can sleep okay at night and curse the ref or blame it on, Klopp crying or something like that. Something like that always happens. Yesterday's performance was a little difficult, but very good question, Dark Sun G, man, because that's one that makes you think. Definitely.
Good question, my man. Good question. Big up Dark Sun G. And he says, as soon as I sent it, they tied the game to a Diaz goal. I know, my man. I know it's unfortunate, but big up Dark Sun G, brother. Really do appreciate the support, my man. We also got 4 art down below. Big up, everyone. And I love that badge beside your name, my man. Big yourself up, brother. Hope you're keeping well. R Green 216 in the house as well. Evening, chaps, and everyone in the chat. Big up R Green 216, brother. Really appreciate support, my man. And a great badge beside your name. Georgie Hill says the indicator that times are changing is that rival fans are no longer joining up to laugh at us, but rather joining up to hate on little old Tottenham. And as a reminder, Romero takes 0 prisoners. I mean, this is absolutely great to see, George. But look, we've got them all rattled. They seen that game yesterday. They seen we were outplayed, but we still got out of there with a result. And that's what rattles them the most. They do look at us and they now think we're dangerous. It's not the same old Tottenham they're used to.
Yeah.
The same old Tottenham they're used to would have absolutely crumbled, capitulated, and we would have been absolutely slapped up. Look, it goes to show when you see Chelsea fans setting up a petition to get Mr. Taylor not to referee any more of the games, and it's getting over 100,000 signatures. That's when you know you've got them rattled. And look, when it comes to Romero, I'll be honest. Look, some people maybe are not happy with it, etc. But for me, I love to see it. I'm going to be honest. Look, the guy stepped on his knee earlier on in the game. Got away with it. No one wants 100%. To talk about that. He's a nasty little fucker. And what Romero done, he says, okay, I'll wait to the very end of the game, you little shit. And what did he do? Pull him down by his hair. And if I'm being honest, you go to any Sunday league game up and down the country, You will see that happening in nearly every game. It's one of the oldest tricks in the book. Someone's fitter than you, won't stop running, or someone's pissing you off. Okay, wait for it. Look, there's a reason why people that play Sunday League have short back and sides, and they don't walk around with a perm like that idiot, because stuff like that happens. It's the oldest trick in the book. I absolutely love Romero for it. His shithousery, it's top notch. Georgie boy, big up Mick Hermelot. Good to see you in the building, my man. We've also got King Huddle says no huge quality gap. We simply struggle with their high press and their constant overloads in the middle and final third. We addressed that in the second half with tactical and personnel changes. Absolutely love that at King Huddle. He's been watching the tactics today, man. For sure.
Yeah.
It was good to see Conte being able to change the game tactically from the bench as well, Nick, because that's not something that we've seen too often, even under Pochettino. For me, one of my biggest criticisms of Pochettino, or one of the only ones I had, was he didn't know how to change a game from the bench, tactics-wise, personnel-wise. But Conte yesterday got us in the game twice doing it.
Yeah, and I know I think we've all been screaming for that. The question is, though, has he ever had the ability with this team, with his squad, to be able to do that? He knows why Perisic is on the bench there. And I think we can bring that question up, too, on whether you start him next game or not. I have my own opinion on that, and I think it's probably not a popular opinion. But he knows now that when he has to change it, he has at least the skeleton of the ability to change formation and kick into a different gear, to change things when they're not working. So that's a bright spark right there. That's a very bright spark, man.
It is. Big up Marky says, watch the second Chelsea goal again, and Dyer was so bad, it's worrying he is making a schoolboy error like that. Look, I tried alerting people to it, but everyone was saying to me, no, Dave, you don't know what you're talking about. He's a leader. He can speak 20 languages. Well, surely between 20, he can pick one to communicate across with Romero and Davies. Like, my point is, and I made this point yesterday on Dermatron's channel. Like, you look at Davies, right, for that goal, for the Reece James goal. Now, look, Dyer was pulled out of position, no doubt about that. But Davies knows he's got two men. He knows if that ball breaks, he's in utter trouble.
Yeah.
Why not open your mouth and scream at someone to come across and help him? You see it on Sunday League. You see it in top teams in the Champions League and all do it. Their defenders are doing it, screaming at people and stuff like that. Why are ours as quiet as a mouse? I mean, you look at Davies now, for example. I don't know why he can't open his mouth. After the Europa Conference League game last season, he was in the press blaming the atmosphere, blaming Nuno splitting the squad, blaming the ball, the pitch, even though it's the same for both teams. I mean, so if he's well able to come out and make excuses for shit like that, well, then why can't he open his mouth and scream across the Dyer? They've been working together for nearly 8 years now. Surely they're comfortable enough to be able to talk to each other. I mean, what is going on? You have Dyer going out to the press the whole time, walking up into the stands to save his brother, but yet can't open his mouth on a football pitch. It drives me crazy, Marky boy. It drives me crazy. We're just going to have a quick flash through, and we're going to start getting on some guests. Big up, Chris. Big up, Brad Matthews. Damianos, 13. Big yourself up. Paul G, good to see you in the building, my man. Parmasca Berto, all the way from Lagos. Good to see you, brother. Terry Wright, big up, my man. We've also got, who else have we got? Pierre Ogi says, big up, everyone. Come on, absolutely love that. Big up, my man. We've also got Derek Hutchinson. Good evening, Dave and Jack. Wait till we get that Chelsea mob at home. Tuchel is going to get some stick. Come on, you Spurs. Yeah, Montgomery Burns. What an idiot he is. You know, he's such a fool. Paddy Higgins, evening all. We can question Conte's tactics, but not his influence. Pre-Conte, we would have lost that. Completely agree, my man. Fadge Music, big up, my man. Good to see you in the building. We've also got Orox Beats. Players not good enough. That's fair point, my man. John N says we got away with one. We need to see a major improvement next game. We seem to have no plan or ideas. Old Soul says takes a second. Big up, Old Soul. Tequila 316. Good to see you in the building. Neil Hartley, same to you. THFC till I die. Big up, Leo as well. Big up, my man. We've got Catty Prince. Stephen Bergwijn scored a hat-trick yesterday. Yeah, look, I mean,
of course he did.
Dutch League. Vincent Janssen scored goals in the Dutch League. He wasn't good enough for the Premier League, you know, and neither was Bergwijn. Honestly, I could not care what these guys do away from Tottenham. I only actually really care what they do at Tottenham, on the football pitch, in a Tottenham kit. That's what I care about. And at the end of the day, Bergwijn had an attitude problem. and didn't take enough of his opportunities. Now, he came out after he left and he goes, oh, well, I got opportunities under Conte and I took them and I just wasn't being played. Okay, idiot. What about the 30-odd games you had beforehand under Jose Mourinho down the right-hand side where you created absolutely diddly squat? Are we supposed to forget about that? That's when your opportunity was. You didn't take it. You got relegated to a B team player, and you found it hard to come back from that. That's on you, Stevie. Nobody else. Sorry, I feel passionate about that, Nico.
I know you do, bro.
Neil G, big up, my man. Good to see you. Mary W, Claude Murphy, Anvil, great to see you as well. United Spurs of America, big up, my man. Good to see you. Dark Zone G says, is there any truth in the Milinkovic-Savic move?
Oh man, if there's only. I have that down as actually a list of questions to have people, to ask people, man. Does a Sergei Milinkovic-Savic change the way we play yesterday? If he replaces Højbjerg, and let's say you have an SMS and a Basuma combination, because Bentancur, you know what, man? It's one of the worst games I've seen him play in a Spurs jersey. He had a couple of clangers last season. I don't think it was for the lack of effort, though. It was just the passing was really bad, man. And I just watched it before we came on. I watched the whole match over again, man. And it's great defensive. Nice tackles, but going forward, man, it's just... And he was the epitome of everything that was wrong about the entire team. It's just he just had no direction going forward.
And look, it doesn't help that Sonny lost the ball about 15 times inside 23 minutes either. That was absolutely head-wrecking. But look, Dark Song G, I would hope so. I mean, if we get this guy in, I think even the most pessimistic fan will find optimism in that signing. For me, I would absolutely love to get him in. I think it would send shockwaves around the footballing world. It would send out a statement in terms of Tottenham's recruitment policy and transfer business. And for me, he walks straight into that starting 11. It's up to Højbjerg, Bentancur, and Basuma to fight it out.
To push him away, yeah.
What I will say is going to cost massive money. Are we going to put that money forward? I'm not quite so sure. But Dark Sun G, what I want to know, Kim Min Jae, can he open his mouth? Does he know how to communicate? And does he know how to shout? Because we need somebody in here. And what I will say is there's potential for that one to happen. We've been linked with this guy for quite some time and have tracked his progress from the Chinese league over to the Turkish league, now on to the Italian league. So let me know, brother, because we need to sort something out, my man. Paul Markey in the building. Big up, Paul Markey. Hope you're keeping well. He says it's the old failing. Chelsea dropped Mount into midfield and we couldn't handle the 3v2. Very, very clever by Tuchel yesterday, by the way. It wasn't only Mount. Loftus-Cheek was coming inside as well. We're leaving the space outside for Reece James to bomb on forward. Yep. So what it actually done is they actually outnumbered our midfield 4 players to 2. Yeah. So that's why you were looking at Højbjerg and Bentancur just chasing shadows. That's why when one Chelsea player got the ball, there was 2 or 3 options for him. Because they just Loftus-Cheek dropped inside, Mason Mount dropped in, and it was basically 4 against 2. A very, very smart move. I mean, Nick, this is also something that they've done against us in the 3 games last season in January. More or less the same thing. I mean, he's got a point here, Paul Markey. It's the same old.
I'm not gonna argue that Tuchel is a tactically astute manager, man. I'm not gonna. He's good. He's good. Yeah, I'm sorry, Tucci. Tucci is what I've been calling him. He's got tricks up his sleeve, man. He's got tricks up his sleeve. But where we got him back was on the quality of our players when they knew what they were doing. I know people are downplaying Højbjerg's goal, but that's not the first time he's done that. It's not the first time he's done that for Spurs. Not the first time he's done that for Southampton. Not the first time he's done that for Denmark. All right. Okay. He can find the goal. He can find the goal when he's in the right place, and he was in an open position to do exactly what he was supposed to do. Kane, we know that he's supposed to be doing exactly what he did, and he's got to love that goal. That came off of 3 consecutive corners that were the result of very good forward play, very good attacking, a switch of formation, got them moved out of position in order to get the first corner. And Perisic, we could talk about that later with the guests, man, but Perisic is the ace in the hole, because he will put it on a dime. First one he took before that sequence, a little ropey, but all of those 3, we almost got a goal off of the one before the goal.
Yeah.
So that was quality that was at play there. That was the quality of our players.
Yeah, and look, just on Højbjerg, I mean, look, for me, it's no coincidence he got that goal. He's been in them positions time and time again. You remember Liverpool back end of last season, he hit the post, Norwich, end of last season, he had similar opportunities. He's had one against Brighton last season as well from the edge of the box. Didn't score any of them, but at the end of the day, he's been there, and that's the rewards of him being there and doing that. He got that yesterday. So, and look, a lot of people were trying to scapegoat Højbjerg in the first half. But at the end of the day, he's one of the ones that stood up and got counted. And in fact, he had a better game than Ben Tekker's did, to be fair to the guy. And Dark Song Jesus, Liverpool have 2 points out of 6 points versus mid-table teams. Laughing my ass off. Well, you know what, Dark Song G? Just makes it even more important we pick up points against Forest at the week or against Wolves at the weekend, my man. Now that we've got that bit of a lead on them, we've got to just keep chipping away, keep getting the 3 points on the board. We've got some favourable fixtures coming up. I expect to win them all. Wolves, West Ham, Nottingham Forest, Fulham. Expect to win them, my man. And who knows what that can do for us. But it's important now we capitalise on this. It's well and good Liverpool dropping mistakes, but we've got to capitalise. But make sure you rub it into your outlet, because I know he's a Liverpool fan. I'd say he's not happy. Got massive problems in midfield with injuries. They're now going to be missing their striker for at least 3 games after that headbutt. So there's real problems starting to open up at Liverpool here, my man. Hopefully now we can take advantage of it. Big up, Dark Sun G. And then we'll take this one as well, and then we will crack on into it and start getting on the guests. Dark Sun G also says Kim Min-jae is a leader and really vocal from what I saw. Nick, do you think Kim Min-jae is the answer to our defensive woes?
I am not going to make any definitive call. I think, if we're trying to go in for him now, I think that's we're seeing we have to do something serious in defense in the center back position. I would prefer, though, even though we desperately need this position filled, even though I don't think we're actually going to get it, I would much prefer to see what he does at Napoli. Right now. The problem is, though, that it's really hard to pry good players off of Napoli. Look how long it took Koulibaly to get a move.
It's very, very true. You actually make a very, very good point there. And will they want to sell him after losing Koulibaly? Yeah. Who knows? But look, at the end of the day, if he's your target and you want him, go and pay the money.
Get him now. You know what? I'm gonna change my opinion on the fly. You know what? If the price is right, get him now, man. Get him now.
I love that. Big up, Dark Sun G, brother. Really appreciate the support. Everybody, make sure you absolutely obliterate that like button. Let's keep this good vibes going. I know we didn't play well, but we robbed them, and that's all I care about. So let's keep the good vibes going. Keep smashing that subscribe button if you are new to the channel. Big push for 8K is on. Let's see how close we can get to there before the end of the week. And guys, as well, feel free at any time to get a super chat in with your point. It basically just means it's highlighted. It skips the chat. We'll get straight to it, and we'll all engage on it and have a good conversation. But as always, just keep getting your comments in. Tonight's going to be a juicy show. Plenty of great questions to ask people. And hopefully we get some great answers. But look, Nico, let's get it underway, my man. Let's get on the first guest, and it is the one and the only Godfather, Mr. Brady. How are you keeping, my man?
Yeah, first of all, I'd like to apologise to all the Chelsea fans watching for absolutely ruining their week.
Oh, man.
Absolutely. They're walking into doors and kicking the cat round the place.
Did you see all the celebrities that were up there with the new owner there, Philip? Did you see all the nice little pictures? Claudia Schiffer, Owen Wilson. They had everybody and their grandmother, Hollywood celebrities up in there. Not a good look.
No. That sort of stuff doesn't do anything for me at all. But just one thing I will say. I don't think, I seem to hear the criticism of our players and whatever. Let's face it, in the first half yesterday, Chelsea would have outplayed Man City and Liverpool or any team in the Premiership. They were so good. Tactically, they had us. But the second half, different ball game. When Conte got the guys in at half-time and changed it, he matched them up in the centre of the midfield, which we were getting swamped. And the second half was much more even. And I don't know, if you've seen the stats, we had 5 shots on target. Chelsea only had 3. Their goalkeeper made 3 saves. Our goalie made 1. They had
That's
3
very
yellow
true.
cards. We had no yellow cards, which is quite amazing compared to some of the stuff that was going on.
Yeah.
Second half was a lot more even, and I think
Yeah.
fair play to Conte for having the balls to change his. He realised he made a mistake in the first half. He rectified it after half time, and it was a much more even game in the second half. And it also, it's evened up things. Like Chelsea go out and play Spurs. We've beaten them once in 32 years at their place. They go out there thinking this is an easy 3 points. But they were up for that game yesterday. They really were. More so than I thought they would be. I thought we would dominate them. We didn't. But it's evened up the score. There's been a lot of bad decisions given against us over the years. Thiago's dive last year for Harry Kane when a gust of wind blew him over and the referee gave a free kick. Remember a good few years ago, Aurelio Gomez let in a goal. The ball hadn't even touched the line, yet it was given as a goal. Stuff like that has gone against us. So yesterday, I have no qualms about saying things even themselves up over time. And yesterday, we got our payback. Maybe we were a bit lucky not to have the, I think especially Romero for the hair pull. But that first tackle by Bentancur, that was perfect. He got the ball. But no one seems to be able to see that. They're watching it.
It was 47 seconds before, you know what I mean? Chelsea had control of the ball after that. Like, there's no way you can go back that far to try and disallow the goal.
Oh, that's what they tried. That's what they tried to do. It wasn't even a foul, though. He got the ball. He hit the ball first. I think last season it would have been a foul, but this season referees seem to have been given carte blanche to let things go a little bit more. And let things go a bit too much because there's some fouls on our players that weren't even looked at.
Oh no, absolutely. The one on Romero himself from Cucurella at the beginning of the match too, man. And Philip, if they would have disallowed that goal and gone back, imagine the backlash for the rest of the season when that happens over and over again.
Yeah, I know.
I think that's why they can't disallow that goal.
It's too far back. But the fact that I feel that for the lead up to the Chelsea second goal, I think Kulusevski was shoved over and there was nothing given. It's. But the fact that I just love the reaction whenever the ball went in the net, and Romero was straight into Reece James's face, screaming at him. You see, that was, I don't know what they think that's on. Red meat, maybe, or raw meat.
We'll touch on Romero's shithousery in a minute, Philip. But I do have two specific questions I would like to ask you, my man. Now, the first one is that Conte did start with the same team versus that we slapped Southampton with. And look, rightly so. You don't change a winning team, especially off the back of a big win. Yeah. But what do you put that performance down to, especially the first half? Do you put that down to the players just not being good enough and failed to implement Conte's game plan? Or do you actually put that down to Conte and his tactics?
I don't put it down to either. I put it down to Chelsea just being so good. It's very hard to play against a team that's on top of their game. You either match them or you try and contain them. We tried to contain them, not very well now, to be honest with you. Some of the marking was very poor. Some of the passing out, their press was impressive, pardon the pun. But, I thought they would lose the intensity of the press, but they kept it going the whole game.
Yeah.
Like I don't like bigging up Chelsea in any way or form, but credit where it's due. But there's even more credit due to our guys for coming back at them. Because let's face it, any other Tottenham team, maybe going back as far as the double team, would have folded and crashed under that pressure yesterday. Even Poch's team wouldn't have lived with him. So I think that's what Conte has instilled into the lads, is never say die attitude. And the fact that he's now got the dark arts off to a tee with some of the players. And that's what I've been wanting to see that for years. We've been too nice.
Yeah.
We've been too nice. And now we're not nice. We're going to become one of the most hated teams in the Premiership, and I love it.
We're already one of the most hated, and I'm thriving off that. I mean, I've been on Twitter all day, winding up Chelsea fans, and every time they cry, they fall for it. I wind them up, they react, and then I'm just like, thanks for your tears, But Philip, another thing I want to ask you, and then we'll let Nick in, is Conte widely celebrated Pierre-Emile Højbjerg's 68-minute goal by hugging his coaching staff before roaring and pumping his fist right up in front of Tuchel's face, which sparked absolute pandemonium. It actually sparked what is now being dubbed the Battle of the Dugouts. Did Conte's antics on the touchline actually help Tottenham and spark us into life? And maybe that's perhaps why he did it, because we've seen it before. We've seen Klopp do that before, Philip.
Yeah, of course he did. Everything Conte does, there's a reason for it. He does nothing spontaneously. Everything is well rehearsed. He knew exactly what he was doing there, and he got up Tuchel's nose by doing that. And then with the Instagram post about when Tuchel ran down the touchline for their second goal, he said maybe I should have tripped him up.
Yeah. Yeah.
He did it for a purpose. It actually bolstered up the team. We were G'd up enough by the goal, but it really, really got them, pumped up for the rest of the match. So I mean, and just maybe you're going to touch on the thing, but I'll mention it here anyway. Like the red card at the end of the game, there's only one red card should have been issued there, and it was not to Antonio Conte. I think Tottenham have to appeal that red card. I know they're both been charged and bringing the game into disrepute, but that's a separate issue. That's a separate issue. We can do.
No, there was a clear aggressor. There was a clear aggressor right there, and that's what the appeals process is for, man. Yeah. So I would assume we haven't heard anything yet about that, but I would assume that the club is going to appeal that.
Yeah, absolutely.
But listen, Philip, what do you think of Richarlison?
Okay, he didn't do a huge amount when he came on the pitch, but his influence. Just the fact that he was there, he put himself about, he chased down lost causes. I mean, the scowl on his face all the time would scare me if I was a centre back. He's got this vicious sort of look. He never seems to smile. But I think, and also his antics at the end, whenever he told the referee to go and book red card Tuchel, grabbing the referee's arm and bringing him over, pointing over.
Brilliant.
Yeah, I think he's going to be a legend. I really do. I think he's going to. He might not score a lot of goals for us. But I'll tell you one thing, he's going to put himself about and he's going to make himself very, very unpopular with other teams' defenders.
Yeah. I mean, I've already, in the back of my head, I have him as the fit Lamella,
Well, hopefully.
What we never had before was the fit Lamella. And if you think about it, that's right. And if you think about it, we now have that exact same type of shithousery going in a diagonal direction from right back through to central mid in Bentancur, because I definitely see the exact same kind of attitude, the same kind of aggression, but also the same kind of no-nonsense response to aggression through Bentancur and then into Richarlison. When you have all three of them on the pitch, you are going to upset people. You're going to upset people a lot.
We're physically very strong now.
Yeah.
We're really big. We're a big team, statue-wise, height-wise, bulk-wise, every-wise. So we've got a great spine to that team. And, okay, yesterday wasn't a great day at the office, but we got the point. And that point is so significant in the season going forward. We've partially got the monkey off our back. Because everyone expected Spurs, well, most fans outside the club expected Spurs to lose yesterday. We didn't. We got the point. And the confidence that's going to give the boys going forward, hopefully, is, immense. Yeah. Like if I was Wolves, now we owe Wolves once after last season, Dave, don't we?
Yeah. Especially when Harry Winks starting in midfield, I have to be vindicated.
Yeah,
have to be.
Yeah. I think that ruined your opinion, isn't it?
When you look at that performance yesterday, look, Session was absolutely atrocious. I mean, atrocious on the football, atrocious defensively. They overloaded down his side. They pinpointed him, and they got so much joy. Ben Davies, for me, I thought was absolutely useless again, on the ball, off the ball, communication-wise. I think there's times he could have opened up his body and gone forward. His first instinct doesn't even look, just straight away back to moon boots. Bentancur, absolutely MIA yesterday. Son, poor. I mean, would you now be making changes for the Wolves game? And is that Conte's excuse now to be able to start feeding in some of these summer signings that we brought? Because as poor as we were yesterday, we still have to understand that none of our summer signings started that game.
Yeah. I think Perisic is going to come in for Sessegnon. I think that's pretty much a gimme, I'd say. I would think that, okay, at half-time yesterday, I would have hauled off Højbjerg. Now, he redeemed himself very much in the second half.
Yeah.
But I think Bissouma is going to start there. Whether he starts in place of Bentancur, I do not know. Hard to drop Højbjerg after the exploits in the second half. So I think maybe Bentancur could be on the bench for the Wolves match. And other than that, I don't see any other changes. Really.
Yeah.
Unless Lenglet is fit. Lenglet might come in at the back if he's fit.
He's got to for me. He just has to. I mean, Philip, now look, me and you have been going back and forth all pre-season over that back line, and look, Are we now starting to get a bit concerned by that back line? Because for me, when you look at a lot of the goals we're conceding, look, set pieces, massive problem. Conceded again from another one this game time. But then you also look at the Ben Davies goal, avoidable. All it takes is a bit of communication, stuff like that. Should we now start to become concerned maybe about that back line and look to act in the market before it closes?
I'd be concerned on the 1st of September if we haven't signed anybody, but I ultra believe we will have somebody signed. Paratici is no fool. He knows what's needed, and he is probably on the phone at the moment trying to work out a deal for somebody. So we've got, 2 weeks left? We will sign somebody. We will sign. I've no doubt about it. I'd be very disappointed if we don't. And if we don't do it, it'll not be for want of trying, I'm sure. But you know what clubs are like? The later it goes in the window, the price goes up.
The price goes up, yeah.
They don't want to sell, So we've got to balance it out. We've got to get a player at a reasonable price, not a grossly inflated price. Which I don't think Spurs ever really did anyway, except for Ndombele, and look what that got us. So we will get a centre back. We will get. I'm not so hopeful on a central midfielder. I don't think that's. To be honest, I don't think that's their priority at the minute. I think it is a centre back, and I hope it's a centre back.
I hope so. I hope so as well. Nick, have you maybe got one last question for Philip before we let him go?
Well, you know what? So Old Soul brought up that comment that you just brought up. Now, James throwing Sonny down time and time again. Now, last year we saw Kane heavily targeted, man-marked, sometimes two defenders or central midfielders marking Kane, trying to get him out of the game. Do you think that maybe that's what people are trying to do with Sonny now because he was so effective last year? But if they're doing both, if they're marking both Son and Kane, why can't we get out on the wings the way we're supposed to against a team like Chelsea?
But we will do it. We just didn't do it on Sunday. Sonny is off his game at the moment. I think he's not just tuned into the whole rest of the what's going on around him. I was shouting at him for giving the ball away yesterday, especially in the first half.
Yeah.
He had one chance when he went through and the goalie made a good save. But I think, they probably will. I mean, any player that wins the Golden Boot is going to be a target for a defender. It's going to be a notch on the bedpost, if you like, if I can keep him quiet. So that's going to happen to Son. Okay, if they do it to Kane and Son, Kulusevski should have that freedom of the park to run in behind them.
There should be space.
That will come. I mean, I'm expecting on Saturday a completely different performance against Wolves, or like the Southampton game, and I think then we'll see where the confidence gain from yesterday will come out. But again, a couple of changes needed just to reinforce. I feel sorry for Sessegnon. He scores a goal in his first match of the season and then has a nightmare yesterday. It's just the way it is. But Perisic, that corner for Harry Kane's goal, I mean, that could not have been delivered better.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
We need someone, and he can take corners with both feet.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's a huge asset. So he'll be
the old Rory Delaps, the old throw-ins.
Exactly, yeah. Well, yeah, that's true. We can do those as well. So we'll see what goes. But I'm expecting, a big result on Saturday, and but also just like in finishing off, can I just emphasize what a hypocrite Thomas Tuchel is?
Please do, please. Speak.
He said Conte wouldn't look him in the eye. Yeah, there's a picture doing the rounds of him playing Burnley last season, and he's got his hand out behind Sean Dyche. He's not even looking at him. Watch out for that picture. So
what you wouldn't expect any more from Montgomery Burns, to be honest with you. Mr. Burns from The Simpsons is what Tuchel is. Look.
I thought he was an extra from a war film where he played a Gestapo officer.
Did you see the picture of him? Why Conte didn't want to shake his hand because Havertz shakes Martin Rowe's hand, the ball scratcher. It's hilarious, absolutely hilarious. But Philip, anything you want to say to the Spurs fans before we let you go, brother?
Listen, keep the faith. Yesterday wasn't great. The performance wasn't great. The result is all that matters. At the end of the season, it's 2-2 scoreline is going to be what's in the record book, not how we played. We've got to move on from that. Improve as we go along. Liverpool are 2 points behind us after 2 games. Did we think that would happen? No.
That's very true.
We are gonna have a good season, and it starts against Wolves. And as that team beds in, they're going to get better and better and better. And with 4 very winnable games coming up, I expect them, like you said, David, to win them all. and that will be sitting there very, very happy by the end of the month.
Be sitting there top of the tree, Philip. Well, Philip, hopefully we get the result this weekend, my man, because me, you, Ollie, Dermatron, we deserve it. We got absolutely shafted when we were over for that Wolves game last season, so we deserve the victory this time. Do not worry. They're hungry. We're going to stuff them, Philip. Philip, I'll be in touch, and we'll see you during the week, my man.
Good thing, lads. All the best. Come on, you Spurs.
Philip. Come on, you Spurs.
Big up, Philip. Everybody, give Philip a lot of love in the comments. What an absolute legend. The Godfather, as always, taking the house down. Now, we do have a bit of breaking news. I'm going to trust Mark on this one. I've seen him put stuff in here before, and he's never been wrong with it. He says Spurs have accepted Napoli's proposal for Endon Fadars. 1 million loan fee plus buy option for 30 million. Fabrizio Romano. Now, I am just going to verify that myself. Just give me 1 second. The fact that there's a 30 million buy option is absolutely unbelievable. Now, will they have any intentions of paying it? Probably not. But yes, that is absolutely 100% accurate and correct. So big up, Mark.
Hallelujah,
Nick,
man.
Relief?
I hope to God he has the best season of his life this season. And it shatters. I don't care what he does 2 years from now, 3 years from now. I hope he wins the Scudetto with Napoli this year, man. Yeah. And they sign that check over, man, because we know what we're getting rid of.
The Don's done it again. I mean, anyone that was maybe on the fence thinking, oh, well, I don't want to call him a Don. I don't want to get on the motherfucking hype train.
Absolutely, man.
End on Belly out the door. Harry Winks to go next. The clear-out job he done last summer, he's been absolutely unbelievable. And what you're seeing right now, in terms of the players coming in the door and the players we've gotten out, that would not be possible without Don Paratici. Steve Hitchen wouldn't have been able to clean up the mess he got us in with the likes of Ndombele, the Celso, etc. And Paratici's had to come in and do it. And he's basically, selling ice to Eskimos, really, with sort of these, what he's doing here, Nick.
Absolutely. To Napoli, too, man. They know who Paratici is, and they know his Juventus history. They don't, he's not their best friend in the world by any means, man. But he's still got Ndombele a move for at least 12 months, man. Let's hope something.
Bye-bye now, Nick. Mm-hmm. Bye-bye. I'm buzzing. Thank fuck he's out the door. I mean, that is huge. To get him out of the door, to get his wages paid, to even get a 1 million loan fee for him and potentially another 30. I mean, that's unbelievable business. I would have given him away for free. So fair play to Don Paratici, because I really didn't think we'd be able to offload them. Dark Zone G says Liverpool have no Firmino, Matip, Jota, Thiago, or Nunez, and they've got United at the weekend. Now, look, I wouldn't say that's a foregone conclusion right now. I know United are in the mud, but with all them injuries, you know what? I wouldn't put it beyond for Liverpool to drop points yet again at the weekend. So, I mean, we've just got to capitalise now, because they will drop more points. With these injuries and with Nunez being out suspended, they will drop more points, and it's now time for us to capitalise. Why we've got winnable games? Go and win every single one of them, Dark Zone G. My man. How's your father, by the way? How's the father? I know he's a big Liverpool fan. He says, that's why I'm really happy that we have Richarlison. I mean, I love this shit house. Don't get me wrong. I mean, nearly every time he yesterday, he lost it. But what he did do is he ran about, harassed people, and he done absolutely everything he could to try and affect the game for Tottenham Hotspur. And although bad on the ball, weirdly enough, he changed the game. It was a genius substitution by Conte, because what it done is it left us with we went to a 4-2-4. And what we then started doing is we were able to get pressure on that back line, which meant then they didn't have as much time to pick their passes out from the back line. They had to start going long, and then we could compete on the ball, turn it over. But then we've also got players up further up the pitch, which then we could start hitting them quicker as well. So it was an absolute genius substitution. Dark Zone G says, also, Wolves are not the same without Cody and Jimenez, so I feel we have a chance to get a huge win against them. But I want to see both Son and Hwang both to score. Look, what I'd ask you, Dark Zone G, if Hwang scores and it means we drop points, do you still want him to score? Because I definitely don't. But, look, I think we will beat Wolves. I mean, Bruno Lage, not really happy with his squad 100%. Jimenez is a huge miss there now, going back into the market for another striker. Connie Cody, The reason why he missed out is Bruno Lage didn't think he was good enough to play in a back four, switching from that back five to a back four. He'll be a huge loss in the dressing room. Now, I watched them I think it was against Leeds. They didn't impress me whatsoever. Look, these are there for the beating. Look, it's only Wolves. I get they can be hard at times, and they ran us close last season, bet us at home, and we barely bet them away. We won 1-0, I think. But it's a team you should be beating if you've title aspirations, Nick. Yeah,
absolutely, man. Especially with those deficiencies. With the players that they have out, they are extremely crippled right now. Yeah. And we, barring any weirdness happening during the week, we still have a very strong team with a strong bench. We're at home. We're also, Conte is, as much as he was celebrating up and down, he is not going to be happy with that performance. So you're going to see extra training sessions this week. You're going to see a team that is out for blood. So I would be very, very scared if I were Wolves. Our man Wolves FL out there, much love, buddy. Much love.
Not yet. He might be in. He might be in. Big up, Dark Soji, brother. Really appreciate the support. Brian Dempsey, my man. Big yourself up. New YouTube member, brother. When are you going to come on and have a conversation with us? Are you Dempsey? It's a good old Irish name, same as Brian. I presume you're in around Ireland somewhere. Whereabouts are you from, my man? Let me know. But big up Brian Dempsey. And if you want to be like Brian Dempsey, simply get your membership today. Click on that link, gives you access to the fan shows every Monday, every Friday. It means you get priority. Plus, we will also, for gold members, be doing a giveaway every single month as well. We'll be giving away a small prize, and there'll be a few other things as well. So, guys, make sure you grab your memberships. Plus, what it does do is it gives your boys some security here. It just means, that we can plan further and further ahead to take this channel to the absolute fucking stratosphere. So you want to be a part of that, grab your channel memberships, guys. Grab them now. Grab them today. Dark Sun G says the Don has done it again, sending Tanguy on loan. I mean, Dark Sun G, how great is it to have Don Paratici? I mean, Steve Hitchen was an absolute fraud. His recruitment got us into this mess. He couldn't up. And then Don Paratici says, well, look, hold my bag. In fact, actually, what you will do, go make me a cup of coffee. Give me a macchiato, 2 sugars, take your time doing it as well. But make sure you get it back here nice and lukewarm for me. And I'll take care of business. The Celso, out the door. Dele Alli, not performing, out the door. Endon Fadas, not performing, out the door. Joe Roden, not good enough, out the door. Carter Vickers, eventually sold rather than sent out on loan. Same as Jack Clark. The guy's an absolute magician, my man. He's pulling some magic here, Nick.
Yeah, man. You know what? I sing from the same playbook, man. Ever since he came in, I was saying this is the one transformative move. Conte, of course, that's changing the whole dynamic of how Tottenham plays. But we know for 5 years plus that the change had to happen at the back room. It had to be the people who had their fingers on the check writing pens. They needed to change. They needed to secede some of that responsibility to people who know about football, man.
Yeah,
that's why you bring the Don to do his business.
And say that with your chest, Nick. The Don. Everybody, you've got to now call him the Don. See the optimism this season? That's down to Paratici. But Paratici was the one that got Conte here. We tried before Paratici came here, failed. We went and had another go, and he's here. Everything that's happening right now is down to the man himself, the Don Paratici. What magic, Dark Sun G. I cannot believe it, my man. I literally cannot believe it. To get 30 million, half of what we paid for him back, if we get it, is phenomenal, considering he is such a lost cause. Unbelievable. It's a miracle. It really is. In fact, if we get that money, you might actually see Paratici be brought up for crime of the century, if I'm being honest. So, I mean, it's absolutely brilliant. And Dark Sun Jesus, Kim Min Jae will be really busy now that Tanguy's there. Yeah, look, he'll probably be asking him to do local runs down to the McDonald's for him and everything else, Look, what we need to do, Dark Sun Jesus, get Kim Min Jae out of there now, and we need to get him over here to us, my man. It's big up, Dark Sun G, brother. Really, really do appreciate support. Now, we have a few Chelsea people in the chat crying, moaning. Look, you're a disgrace. You're a disgrace. At the end of the day, we robbed you at home. Of course, we're going to celebrate. Now, you didn't want to criticise Thomas Titty when he went sprinting down the line, thinking they won it with Reece James, the crowd, everybody else. You know, you didn't want to have a go at him, but you want to have a go at us for celebrating. You guys think you're the celebration police. You're an absolute joke. Your fan base signed up a petition with over 100,000 signatures, you know, to get Taylor not to referee any more of the games. What I would say is, before you come into Spurs chats, I'd be looking a bit close to home and getting your own fan base in order, because you're a bit of a disgrace, to be honest with you. So there you have it. There's my Chelsea rant. Hopefully they all leave now, guys. And Dark Sun G says, don't forget we almost got all the money for Stevie. Yeah, exactly. Basically got back what we paid for Bergwijn as well. I mean, honestly, Dark Sun G. I mean, we used to be talking about Winks, Lo Celso, Ali, Ndombele. Now we're talking about Basuma, Bentancur, you know. The night and day, my man. Absolute night and day. Once he gets rid of Winks, for me, there's no coming back. I think I probably love him more than what I love my missus, my man. But big yourself up. And Chelsea fans, you're absolute mugs. You melts. You got robbed at the bridge. Suck it up. Take it. Eat it. And enjoy it. That's what I say. But look, Nick, we will keep moving, my man.
Yeah, and David, if I can add something before we get into the next guest, man, if I could just add my 2 cents on the petition there. Were you, if you're so worried about the standard of refereeing in the Premier League, were you creating a petition after Kane's goal got robbed last year, called offside? No, everybody and their grandmother knew that goal was good. Were you creating a petition to change the quality and the standards of refereeing at that point in time? No, you weren't. No, you weren't.
Exactly. You absolute melts. You melons. Like Nick said, you're too interested now getting the likes of Owen Wilson and all the celebrities coming over. In fact, you probably see Keeping Up with the Kardashians next coming out of Stamford Bridge. It's absolutely ridiculous. Just back to Paratici as well, just quickly, because I love him. You know, I'm his best promoter. He pays me an awful lot to promote him. He says, Dave, you're the best in the business at it. So what I will say is, even the signings that people label at Paratici is a bit of a criticism. Gil Messi, one for the future. Emerson said it on Dermot's channel last night. It's fine. We can go back to Serge Aurier if people want. Let's remember who was brought in here to replace, and he stopped a lot of the defensive errors coming from down that side. May not be great going forward, but neither was Serge Aurier. But he was atrocious defensively. Galini, Hugo Lloris didn't sign his contract at the time. We didn't know whether he was going to keep or stay or not. So what he done is he brought him in, and he allowed us and gave us time to act in the market. And even if Hugo Lloris did leave, it means we wouldn't have been extorted for a goalkeeper. So everybody on the train now, no excuses. Let's all hear it. Don Paratici. Next stop. Let's go. But look, I think we'll keep bringing on the guests. Let's get them on. Just check and see who's number 2, because I forgot already. It is the one and the only Dermotron. Dermo,
Good evening, lads.
what's your analysis?
Big Derm.
Games, brother. Let's break it down.
Yeah, yesterday, what a day. I mean, that was the Italian job big time. Conte and the back of the truck in there,
smash
the
and
goal's
grab.
going out, and he turns around to the Spurs team and says, hang on, lads, I've got a plan. So we're all there. It was the Italian job done well. And I'm over the moon.
Biggest question we're asking today, and this is what me and Nick, we need answers to it, because we've been going back and forth all day, and we need the answers. Conte's fault yesterday, tactics, got them wrong, or the players went hiding in the first half and just atrocious. What do you put it down to?
Players went hiding in the first half. They were atrocious. Absolutely atrocious. They couldn't follow a simple instruction. You know, the likes of Dyer, Davis. So I'm really sorry for Segi, because he had such a great game against Southampton. He went missing.
I'll be honest, Darmot. I actually don't feel sorry for him whatsoever. He knows the pressures of being at Tottenham Hotspur. He knows you have to perform week in, week out. And he's not 18 anymore. He's not 17. No. He's 22. I don't feel sorry for him. I just don't. I can't.
But
you know, he's also shown up in big games before against big opponents when he's up against the world's best. It's this. I just think personally there was an air of hesitation, right going out of the box. And when that first goal in, I mean, Dermot, how were you feeling when that first goal went in, man?
When the first
what did you
goal
think was
went
going to
in,
happen?
Yeah, when the first goal went in, I thought, I just felt deflated. But I think of something in the back of my head, we're not going to crumble like last season. Because last season we would have crumbled, we'd have lost that 3 or 4-0. I do agree with Philip. Not even Man City or Liverpool could have stayed with Chelsea in that first half. But one thing you know with Chelsea, you bully them, you keep pushing, they will crumble. They will make mistakes. They make mistakes, we punish them. And they have to get over it. We boss them. They don't like it. Piss off. I don't care.
Dermot, let me ask you this. Should we be happy we got the result, or should we be worried about the performance? Because I think most Spurs fans kind of waking up today in that predicament.
Personally, myself, after the game, I wasn't happy with the result. But the more you think about it, it's a point gained. That point could mean Champions League football or Europa League football next the end of the season. And we can look back and go, that's where we got our Champions League football. When teams play bad and pick up points, you know you're onto a winning thing. The old Liverpool sides, Manchester United, the Fergie time, that always got goals in injury time, that always picked up points when they were playing badly. And I just think Conte's got it drilled into the players. Never give up. You play from the first whistle to the last whistle. And I think that's what's different about us this season. We never give up. And I think it's great to see.
It is. It shows a bit of a change in mentality, Dermot, for me. I mean, it's absolutely fantastic to see that there is no giving up in this team. That the late goals last season without them, Watford, Man City, Leicester, without them goals last season, wouldn't have got Champions League. And I definitely think that's down to the fitness of the players. I mean, it used to be famously called Fergie time. Well, now it's called Tottenham time. So get used to it, the rest of the Premier League. But Nick, my man, anything you want to ask Dermotron?
Yeah, man. Well, so obviously after our first equalizer went in, there was a change in attitude in our squad. And when the half came out, it looked like we were reverting to type. It was much of the same as the first half. Passing was bad. There wasn't a lot of forward momentum. But after Højbjerg's goal went in, we saw Conte doing his routine on the sideline, bigging up the fans, bigging up our squad, and it looked like it really had an effect on Tommy Tuchel. Yeah. Do you think that was on purpose? Do you think that's he knows how to get at him? And I got a follow-up question for you after that one.
Look, I can just about remember Conte as a player.
Yeah,
and he was like that as a player. He would have been up your ass, following you around. If he was marking you, he will not leave you alone. On the touchline, he doesn't like Chelsea anyway. Let's be honest. He hates Chelsea. So any bit of advantage he's going to get over them, he'll do it. And you look at the side. I mean, even yesterday, you look at Perisic talking to play when water breaks, jigging the players up. Come on.
Yes,
Conte,
yes.
He's such a diamond. We have rarely got a diamond, and the positive for him goes on to the players. Once the players see him what he's doing, they think, "Hang on a minute, we've got to back him up," and that's what he expects. I put my line on the line for you. You do the same for me, and that's what they got. And when the players saw that, then they got more jazzed up, and everything comes from the manager. Look, we had Nuno standing on the touchline like a garden gnome. I mean, no wonder we were playing badly. Conte comes in, and he's up there. He's revving to go. That rubs off on the players, and I agree with you. I think he did it deliberately. I don't agree with Philip. I think he did it deliberately. But I think
premeditated.
Hates Chelsea.
It was a premeditated crime.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So here's my follow up for you, Dermo.
Yeah.
Because it's something that's very personal to me. It's that unpopular opinion. I want to play Chelsea again away this season. I want to get back and show them how this team really plays. How do you feel about that? Would you want to go back? Let's say it's in the Champions League. Let's say it's in a cup. Would you want to go back to Stamford Bridge, or do you want to leave it this season with Chelsea away the way it is?
I want to go anywhere. Go back to Stamford Bridge, fine. We'll batter the hell out of them again. Man United, Liverpool, I don't care where we go, because we're not going there as softies anymore. We're a tough nut to crack. We've got Conte. We've got a spine down that team that we cross that white line, we believe we're going to beat you. and we're going to beat you in any which way form. If it means leaving a tackle in, pulling hair, which I love Romero for doing that. I think he's brilliant. If it means Richarlison getting in your face after he scored, that is what I've been wanting to see from Tottenham for a long time. We've had players like that in the past, Dave Mackay, Graham Roberts. We've had Paul Miller, Steve Perriman in the 80s, really would get in your face and give it to you. And we've missed players like that over the years. And I think now we've got Conte, he's building the team in his image. And we're going to see a tough Italian side that will always up for a fight. If we have to go to war, we will go to war. If we have to play it safe, we'll play it safe. But whatever he will ask them, they will do, because they know if they don't do it, they're not playing the next game.
Agreed, 100%, Dermot, man. That's how I feel too. I will
it's
play anybody right
well,
now.
You know, if you don't play well.
Yeah.
It's the way it should be. Like, no player should be going into a game every week knowing they're going to start, you know, especially your entire 11. There has to be some sort of trepidation, some sort of players coming up behind you, you know, some sort of competition. So it should be in your mind, if you do play bad, the next guy is in. So hopefully what it does do then is get you more performances out of you on a consistent basis. So hopefully that is the same. Dermotron. Now, all last season, and I get it, but look, for me, it came from a lot of the Sun fans, because look, people don't like to say it, but I do see it. Like, when I was back in Kane, I seen a lot of Sun fans trying to pull down Kane or wanted to sell him and want Son to be the main man of the club. Now, so I do think there is a bit of a thing going on between Sun fans and Kane fans and stuff like that. Now, last season, when Son was doing well, it was always the question, why doesn't Harry Kane ever get taken off? We're Harry Kane FC, blah, 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 blah. Well, Harry Kane scoring that goal yesterday, does that answer the questions now, Dermot?
That's why you keep him on. That is why you... If Son was in position, would he have done that? No. As much as we all love Son, he's no Harry Kane. Harry Kane is our Jimmy Greaves. That's how good Harry Kane is. Jimmy Greaves, he could do nothing for 89 minutes and pop the runner up in the 90th minute. Harry Kane had an okay game yesterday, but when he come calling, he was there. You never take off your number one striker. Bill Nick would never take off Jimmy Greaves. I know there was no subs in them days, but he wouldn't take off Jimmy Greaves if there was, because he knows he could do nothing for 89 minutes, 90 minutes, injury time. He'd be there putting the ball in the back of the net. If you took off Kane, it's like taking off your right arm.
Yeah.
Would you be without your arm? No. You're just being stupid. I'm sorry. For me, Harry Kane last season, you had the Euros, you had the Man City debacle, you had Nuno. I mean, anyone would be depressed with Nuno in charge. I'm sorry. I mean, garden gnomes were not in garden centres up by 80% while he was in charge, because he was advertising for them brilliantly. I mean, and you can look over at Nuno, you'd probably be thinking, what the blooming hell am I doing here? Why do I bother? Sees Conte come in, total mentally changed. And he says, right, I now can achieve something. And that's what you're going to get. You're going to get
100%. 100%. I couldn't agree more. I just want to take this comment here from Hotspur82. He says, I think the players believe the crap that was circulating amongst the fan base, that all they had to do was turn up to beat Chelsea. Hopefully we'll learn from this and less of a delusion. Two things on that, my man. First of all, if the players are listening to me, then we've got a serious problem at Tottenham Hotspur. If they're listening to the fan base or they're listening to me, we've got a serious problem. And you may as well just put me in charge. Second of all, we're right to be deluded. We got out of there with a result. So, I mean, why wouldn't you be happy with it? So you're right to be deluded. At the end of the day, people fancied us going there to get a result, and we got a result. So, sorry, I just had to do that, because we do have a problem if the players are listening to me. We really do. So,
look,
I would be worried. Not Dermot. I would be worried if they're sitting there on the team bus listening to the Irish Hotspurs pre-match pump-up. I'd be extremely worried. I'd be like, boys, I think you've got something else to focus on here. Game in hand, learn your tactics, stuff like that. Get yourself mentally prepared. So I'd be worried if they were listening to my pre-match pump-up, to be honest with you. But look, Dermot, my man, we'll give your channel a plug, brother. Give the channel a plug.
I just want to say one thing quickly. The best thing that's ever happened to our club since Bill Nick walked in was Conte walking in. That is the best thing that's ever. We've had nothing to. We've got the best manager. The day Bill Nick walked into that side in 1948 was the day Tottenham Hotspur changed forever. And the day Antonio Conte walked into the club last year is the day that club changed forever. And I'm sick to death of hearing fans, put some sections of the fans putting them down. It's our fault. It's us being blamed. Look, let's get one thing straight. We're Tottenham Hotspur. We are a massive club. We should all stick together. We should all stand together. We'd back the team 100%, and we will win something this year. If you want to go and moan about certain things not right, then go into the middle of the field and go and talk to cows. I don't care. We need to back the team 100%. We've got a decent manager. We've had a good transfer window. Let's celebrate something good about Tottenham Hotspur for a change instead of complaining and moaning.
Love that. Great comment by the Black Suits, by the way. Making sure everyone's dressed the same, having a dress code. We mean business, my man. We wouldn't be wearing suits to games if we didn't. Absolutely fantastic point. But Dermot, my man, give the channel a plug, brother.
Yeah, you can find me, Ellie, Philip Brady, The Godfather, and Izan and Mark on THFC Till We Die. We're doing everything from match previews to post-match shows. Ellie's coming up with a show called The Queen, King, and The Godfather. So that's something Ellie's planning. We're going to do tributes on Gary Mabbott, old players, new players. We're going to do one on Robbie Keane soon. So that's for you, Dave. And we've got good things. So yeah, but come over, hit a like, hit the subscription, hit a like. We're trying to get to 600 before the start of the Champions League. But please leave a like and subscribe here for this great channel, because Dave is, as I said last night, for everything he's done for me personally. I can't thank the man enough. And for Nick as well, for all the thumbnails and everything he's helped me with my channel. I cannot thank that man enough either. They're both diamonds. And please, everyone, like and subscribe here, because these two and Jack are the three of the nicest people on YouTube you're ever likely to meet. So please do a thing. Let's get these guys to 8,000. And thank you again, Nick, for everything.
Big up yourself, Dermot. Thank you, man. Much appreciated.
Big up, Dermot Sean. Everybody get over there. Check out THFC Till I Die. They're on 572. Let's see if we can at least get them to 580 before the night's out and give them the push towards the 600. So what we need is 8 subscribers. Sorry, I failed maths in school. We need 8 subscribers. That's why I'm not in there with Paratici. He wanted to hire me, but you see my maths.
Don't worry, Dave. I'm used to maths too. So
everybody get over there. Check out THFC Till I Die. Big up, Dermot Sean, and we'll see you again soon, brother.
Yeah, big up. See you soon. Take care.
See you later, Dermot.
Everybody give Dermot Sean some love in the comments. Absolutely love it. He loves Bill Nick. He can't stop talking about him every time. He loves him. Passion. I love it. Dark Zone G says, oh yeah, we already got that one. My bad, my man. Dark Zone G says, apparently Taylor was the ref for that game where the fridge Man United stepped on Batshuayi and didn't get a red card and lost 2-0 with Fridge scoring. No partition then. No, of course there wasn't, my man. I mean, you even seen Sky Sports today. Honestly, they were just short of bringing out Inspector fucking Cluedo. You know what I mean? It was absolutely ridiculous. They had the referees on, brought all the pundits out. I mean, all the experts were out. I mean, how much more do they want to dissect it? It's an absolute ridiculous. But look, I'll be honest, the fact that we made them start up a petition and it got 100,000 signatures, they'll never live that down, ever. What they also won't live down is that we went to Stamford Bridge, absolutely violated them on their own turf, and they couldn't do anything about it. We violated their manager, violated their turf, violated their new signing in Cucurella, and they couldn't do anything about it. It must absolutely kill them. So they're taking their frustrations out on the pen by signing this petition. It's an absolute joke, Dark Zone G. Absolute idiots, so they are. But let them do it, because at the end of the day, it just gives me more things to use against them next time we play them. So it's all good, my man. Big up, Dark Zone G, brother. Really appreciate the support. Brian Dempsey, big up, brother. Really appreciate the support, my man. And he says, love the shithousery. We are Tottenham Hotspur now. No fucking about. Played pure dog shit. Wait till we are in full motion. And he is from Belfast. Come on, you Spurs. Big up, my man. The home of the Titanic. Hope you're keeping well, brother. Are you a Derry fan? Derry City fan? Let me know, my man. Let me know. But I love that. I mean, Nick, the shithousery yesterday. Look, Conte, Romero screaming in Reece James' face when we scored, pulling Cucurella down by the hair. Richarlison getting Tuchel sent off at the end of the game. I mean, this is what I've been waiting to see for a long, long time. Too many times have we been nice, rolled over, let teams do what they want to us. Whereas now we're fighting back. It's like we're just fighting the bully in the playground.
Yeah, listen, man. When I started supporting Spurs, which is about 11 years ago, I like sportsmanship, man, and I enjoy it within the game. But there came a point in time during the Pochettino years where I was like, you know what? I'm sick of this. No, man, it's too not. I've been hearing Spurs to the old stories about the Man U, and it's only Spurs guys. And you know what? This is not the team that I want to support. I love this team. I love the history, but it can be so much more if we just break this mold right now. The best, I'm going to go back to what Dermo was saying. You know what? Not only is it the best thing that's ever happened to Tottenham, the best thing that Daniel Levy has ever done for Tottenham Hotspur Football Club, outside of the Enoch Corporation, is let Paratici do his job and bring in the man that he wanted from the beginning and set this club right.
Exactly. I absolutely love that. But what I will also add to that, Brian, is we're now a reflection of our manager. That's what we are. The passion and everything that Conte is. We're now a reflection of that on the football pitch. And the fact that we're all wearing black suits going to the games. Paratici is dominating the transfer market. I mean, this club is only going in one way, my man. One way. And I just absolutely love the shithousery. I love that we're standing up to teams now. Look, I'll be honest, even when playing, I'm sorry, Nick, but I'm not a fan of sportsmanship. Look, nice guys don't win anything. Nice guys get participation medals. Oh, well done, good game. Even though I'm a loser, good game. No, if I lose, I want to kick you in your bollocks, and it's that simple. I hate losing. So don't lose a game of chess to me, Nick, because you're going to have to wear a cup. But I just hate losing, my man. And Jose Mourinho said it. Nice guys win nothing. He wanted to change the culture of the club. Levy wasn't ready. The fan base wasn't ready. But now Conte's come in. He's done it along with Paratici. We are ready, and we're even celebrating it now. And it's great to see how far we've come in the space of a year. Big up, Brian Dempsey. Really appreciate the support, brother. We've got Dark Sun G, and he says, I agree about if you play bad, you should be worried about being benched. If there isn't that standard, then we will be like Man United, always using Fridge and McTominay. Not only that, we'll just be the team we've been for the last 2 years, though, as well, Nick.
Yeah, absolutely, man. That's in it. You bring up an interesting question there, Dark Sun G. Is that it's kind of the elephant in the room, particularly after the last two matches. Which do you start Richarlison on next Saturday against Wolves? Do you bench somebody? And the big question is it Sonny at the time? Personally, I say no. I think Sonny's got to get into his groove, but that you bring in a very, very good question right there, man, because we brought in these players for a reason, for rotation, to be able to have options.
Yeah, that's what it's there for as well. But we also brought in these players to give the players that we have a kick up the hole. It's like, okay, you think you can perform 1 week and then take your foot off the gas next week? That's fine. You want to take your foot off the gas, you'd be left back in London when we're playing an away game, no problem. And that's why we've been seen, that's why especially we've been high 1 week, delirious, winning, and then the next week being so down because we can't beat a team we should be beating because players had no competition. It's like, well, it doesn't matter what I do today, I'm still going to play. I'm still going to play 90 minutes. It's not like the Craig twins are going to come on or Winks is going to come on. So I don't have to perform, So the fact that we now have these players here, I expect Session to be dropped for Wolves. I expect Perisic to come straight back in. I'm not going to sit there and, butter up Session and say, oh, well, you played well against Southampton. Look, you didn't turn up where it mattered most against Chelsea, so you're dropped, you fucker. As soon as Langley's fit, I drop either Dyer or Davies. I'll be looking to bring Basuma straight in for Bentancur. Send out these messages. You have to do it. Look, Conte is a smart guy. He was just waiting for an excuse to bring in the new signings and put them in. He didn't want to. Yeah. Nick, for me, I don't think he wanted to upset the apple cart because He put his trust in them players last season. They repaid him by getting top 4. And I don't think he wanted to kind of fracture that relationship. So he had to be smart about how he brings in these new signings. And well, he's got his excuse now.
Yeah, well, you bring up a very good point, man, that I think we should lay in to the next guest directly, man, is who are you dropping, if you are dropping anybody, and why? Where I had a question that I wanted to throw at some people was when you look at the starting 11 from last match and you have to point one finger at the weakest point, who is it? Where is that weakest point? And the follow-up question is, if you're dropping somebody, who's it going to be and why?
Well, Duck, we'll get the answers for you there, Nick. So keep them questions in mind, my man. Big up, Dark Sun G, brother. Really appreciate the support. He also says, Man U is like us with toxic players last season. Look, they're going to keep blaming their managers and stuff like that. A bit like what I used to say. Look, you can bring in these managers and pick faults and blame them all you want. But until the playing staff is rotated, it is what it is. You're going to keep getting managers sacked. And that's what happened until Paratici got in here and said, oh, okay, what I'll do is I'll spend 2 weeks around the squad, in and around match day, every sort of aspect of the day, spend time around. And then come January, the players that he thought were being disruptive, out the door. And that's the way it should be. Will United do that? I don't think so. I think you look at, everyone at board level, I think they're so out of their depth and incapable. It's unbelievable. Look, there's an old saying, you're never too big or too good to go down.
Yeah.
I think United are in serious problems. I really do believe it. Even if they change manager, bring in Sam Allardyce, it's not going to change the players' mentality, desire, and hunger to be there. So I think they're in big trouble. Maybe you could listen to me and get a fiver on in the bookies. United to get relegated. And then Dark Sun G says, imagine if we had Ten Hag and not Conte. We will have 2 big losses with -6 goal difference. No Kane and a back line of Dyer and Martinez. Oh, my fucking God. Thank you, Solskjaer, for beating us. Just on this quickly, and we'll let Nick in on it. Look, me and Jack were saying that the other day, actually. There was a few Spurs fans twerking for Ten Hag. Get him in. He's going to revolutionize Tottenham. He's going to do this. I've studied him. He's going to do that. Well, you didn't study Philip Cuckoo at Palace when he came in. Dutch way of playing football does not work in the Premier League. It just doesn't. And it doesn't help that I haven't brought in signings for Ten Hag. But with the way he wants to play, it's not suited for the Premier League. Teams are just going to keep setting traps, wait for United to play into them and take the ball off them. It's too easy. Way too easy. And for me, thank God we didn't get him. And thank God they turned him down because he couldn't speak English properly, because he was just absolutely boring. Imagine placing Nuno with him. It's like placing an egg with an egg. It's absolutely ridiculous. It's just, thank God we stayed away. Thank God we've done our due diligence and our homework. I mean, Nick, what do you want to say? Dark Sun G brings up another good point here, to be fair.
You know what, man? I wasn't completely opposed to Ten Hag, but that I knew at the time that is not what is needed after the Mourinho debacle and sacking Pochettino. Everybody, maybe not everybody in the world, maybe not your Alex Davies in the world, but as far as I'm concerned, I was desperate to keep a hold of Harry Kane. And Sonny, too, because it took a hell of a long time for Sonny to sign his contract, too. And you can think about that as long as you want. But I was desperate to keep on to our key assets. And our key assets, we're not going to sit around for another long rebuild, man. Another Pochettino 2.0. Absolutely not. There was only one option in the world that could possibly do something to move this club forward and push it to where it had gotten through the new stadium in Pochettino into another stage. Anything else other than Antonio Conte, Klopp's not available. Thomas Tuchel wasn't available at the time. I'm not so sure he would have been the man either. Guardiola, of course, never going to come, man. The only other person that was possible was Antonio Conte, man. And it was absolutely the right decision on all fronts. Too bad it wasn't done earlier. Maybe it couldn't have been done earlier, and it had to be a disaster under Nuno for him to get in. But thank God he's in here now, man. And Ten Hag, nope, we would be in worse shape than United is right now.
I think you actually make a great point there that it was only someone like Conte that could take this club to the direction where fans wanted it to go to. I think you make an absolute fantastic point there, Nick. Brilliant point. Big up, Dark Sun G, brother. Really, really appreciate the support. We do have another super chat here from Moondog. but Elias in the background wants to take on from here. So we'll get him on and get him straight into it. Elias,
big up, Elias. Hey, Elias and David, I'm going to run to the Jacks real quick. I'll be right back.
Yep. No worries at all, Nico. No worries at all, my man. But Elias, what do you want to say to Moondog? He says, would you start Jed Spence? He would.
Okay. Hi, guys. First of all, basically why I told Dave that I want to take this on, because as Nick was asking the question that who would you actually drop and where do you see the gap. I see the gap that currently is coming from our right wing back side. I feel that Jed Spence should be given a chance to come in, at least as a sub. Rather, I wouldn't put him in straight away, but I think that guy can inject some form of creativity and he can improve the defensive problems that we are having towards the right side. Because in the preseason, as I look at Jed Spence, he seems to have improved quite a lot in his defense from his time at Nottingham Forest. So I would be looking forward to seeing that guy coming in as a sub. I was pretty sad yesterday that Conte didn't even put him in as a sub. Like, come on, man! Like, just give that guy a chance. So I would like to see the chance being given to him. But definitely knowing Antonio Conte, I don't think he is going to put him into the starting lineup because he wants the current team to perform. And these players who have just come in, they need to make their space in. Likewise, Kulusevski and Bentancur, they didn't come into the squad straight away. It took them time. So I wouldn't start Jed Spence, but I would like to give him some minutes. Yeah.
Do you know what? I agree with you. I would like to give him some minutes, but I don't think Emerson is as bad as people make him out to be. I think defensively he's good. You know, like at the end of the day, he stops a lot coming down from that right-hand side. We have to understand that Serge Aurier was there beforehand, and the amount of mistakes he used to make. Now, is there arguments Emerson could be better on the ball going forward? Of course there is. And I would like to see him maybe improving that. But he did have a good game against Southampton. I don't think he was the worst on the pitch against Chelsea either. So I just think it's just a matter of Jed Spence just has to bide his time and wait for the opportunity. And when he gets it, then take it. I wouldn't be bringing him in against Wolves. I would stick with Emerson if I'm being honest. I think Jed Spence is one of them.
Wolves game not that kind of game. Maybe perhaps when you play like Nottingham Forest or Fulham, then maybe we can give him a chance. But maybe not the Wolves game, because Wolves is the kind of team that you need to be really careful because they beat us last season. So I would be very very. Game.
And look, let's answer Nick's question. I mean, Nick, do you want to give the question about what players you want to see gone and changes for Wolves maybe?
So in the Elias, actually, before we get into that, man, you brought up a good point, because after all the hype after the match, nobody's really talked too much about why Jed Spence wasn't even on the bench right there. Do you have any thoughts yourself on why that might be? Do you think Conte might think he's not fit? He's just not acclimated to the system? I mean, why wouldn't you at least put him on the bench?
I think likewise, any signing, we know that most of the signings that Conte has put in recently, they are Conte's own signings. He has been eyeing them. He has been observing them. He knows their style, where they fit in and all. And we all know that Jed Spence was not a Conte signing. But I think Conte did say that, the guy has potential. So it will take some time for Conte himself to understand that player, understand his style, understand his mentality, physicality, and where he fits in the system. Is he the kind of player who can inject in creativity towards your wing when you need it? Or is he the kind of player who can help you make good crosses? So all these things takes time, and especially he's young. He's like 20, 21. So it takes time.
Right,
It takes time to really understand these kind of players, like where they really fit in, because they are just starting their career. So I think that's where Conte is just trying to feel him in some of the training sessions. But eventually, I think in some of the games we might see him being called on and being given some minutes. So I'll be looking forward to seeing that, but definitely not the Wolves game.
I see a few people maybe asking was Spence injured and stuff. The reason that was given why Spence wasn't a part of the squad is because Doherty was on the bench. Lucas Moore, it
Yeah.
was. I think Conte's looking at him maybe playing right wing back and stuff like that. So I don't think he wanted to have too many options just purely down the right hand side. Perisic can play there as well. So I think that's why he was actually left off the bench. That was the reason I think that I think it was Ali Gold gave for him not being in the squad, just for the people out there. But Elias, I mean, oh yeah, sorry, Nick,
So
go on.
back to that question, man. So if you were to take your finger and look at that starting 11 on a piece of paper, first part of the question is, where do you point at the weakest point in that starting 11? At least for, let's say for the first 80 minutes of the match, or say for the first 60 minutes of the match before substitutes were made. And if you're going to take somebody out for the Wolves game, who's it going to be?
Okay, the problem was definitely at the midfield. We were lacking. Chelsea was pressing us there. They were dominating the midfield, and you know that the guy like Jorginho and Conte. I don't know how to. Not a Conte? It's a Conte, right?
Yeah, Conte. Yeah, I'm glad they're not on the same team anymore.
Conte.
Conte.
the So those two guys are really the good in the midfield. And my friends actually sometimes even say that N'Golo Kante, when he's on the midfield, he even makes the entire midfield looks good. So
Yeah.
when you have both of them on the midfield, both these players, it's not easy to play that sort of midfield. We have Bentancur, who is similar to, I think, like the Conte style of game and Jorginho style game. But Højbjerg, I was actually hoping that Bissouma would come in, because Bissouma is the kind of guy who can actually dominate the midfield himself. We saw that what he did with Kane last year in the Brighton game. So I was looking towards either one of Højbjerg or Bentancur to go out and get Bissouma
Pick
in.
one. Pick one. Who do you want
Who
to
do you take out? Who do you take out?
It's
Is
a
it the
tough
general?
one.
And the reason why I ask,
I don't want to
The reason why I
disappoint
asked-
Ali, but I think I'll say Højbjerg.
why? Tell me why.
Højbjerg. I think Højbjerg yesterday, before the 60 minutes, definitely he scored a great goal. But Højbjerg was so undefensive in his style. He was not really controlling the midfield. He was like, if you look at before the 60 minutes, he was almost in the same line as Dyer and Romero. He was all the way deep in, and we needed someone to really control the midfield. So I don't know what the tactics were and why he was so deep down. He almost looked like that he was playing like a defender, or even like a central defender. He was playing that sort of game yesterday.
Yeah.
I think
So I was worried.
the reason why Højbjerg was asked to drop in, I noticed this during the game, and I was saying it to Jack, is Højbjerg was dropping in beside Dyer to pick up the ball where Ben Davies usually is. And we were pushing Ben Davies on. So it looked like we were trying to overload that side, because I think maybe they identified Ruben Loftus-Cheek playing at right wing back. Maybe he has a chink in their armor and we could get at them. Now, look, it didn't work. But I think for me, I think it was more tactical asking Højbjerg to drop in there and just make sure they have that tree and push Ben Davies and Session on down the other side. That's just my opinion on that.
Yeah, but when Richarlison came on, actually, it really made a difference, which was evident.
Yeah.
But one thing I would say that if, let's say, not Højbjerg or Bentancur, if you don't want to make the changes in the midfield, you can actually put Perisic into the wing back position. I think I can really expect that now, after his performance as a sub, he made a great impact and that assist, and he can take really good corners. I mean, wow, we have finally found someone who can take corners, and we can put Sonny in. That I was really impressed. So I'm really looking forward to Perisic coming in, so he can actually help the midfield as well as the wing. He can really help pressing. He can really be because Perisic himself, he has played as an attacking midfielder before. So he can be that sort of guy who can inject some form of creativity or some form of attack into the field. Okay, Ali has a question here. Can I take this?
Yeah,
Go ahead, man. Go ahead. You jump right on it.
Yeah, the word we are following. That's his job, to play defensive. But Elias, he scored a great goal, whereas Bentancur was superior. Look, Ali, I wouldn't disagree with that. I think it was really the tactics yesterday. But the way Højbjerg was playing, we needed someone to come in and really, really dominate the midfield. And Højbjerg wasn't doing that for the first 60 minutes. So I would have taken him on. But the other thing that I noticed that we should have done after Højbjerg's goal was yesterday, we shouldn't have stick to the four at the back, because that was the problem that we conceded the goal. I was like, yeah, once you already made that impact, you should have gone for Perisic straight. You took one of the players out and put Perisic in. It could have been Sunny out and put Perisic in. That should have happened much earlier, because what happened there when Reece James scored that goal is that Ben Davies was doing the job of two people. He was the only left-sided defender in the entire squad. The rest, all three, which includes Dyer, Romero, and who else? Emerson. They are all right-footed players. So he was doing that job, and it was tough for him to actually play the role of the wing back and the center back. So I was actually wondering, like, why would actually Conte do that? Like, instead of that, he could have taken on off Emerson, because you have Romero to play that right back, and you still have two right-footed player. But I guess I sometimes really don't understand some of the decisions that Conte make. But yeah, in Conte we trust.
You
know
bring
what?
up a real good point. Yeah, go ahead, David.
Go on.
Well, you bring up a really good point, man. I was wondering, as much as it shocked everybody else, it shocked me that we actually did switch into a different formation. And if people who study Conte know that he can go into the 4-2-4 or a different attacking position, switch to a 4 in the back at some time. But is our squad? Yeah, exactly, with Stevie B. Yeah, exactly. Although that was much later in the game. I think that was more towards when we actually switched positions. That was more towards after the 70th minute. Is this squad drilled enough to be able to transition into that kind of attacking formation and then switch back into being able to defend correctly and be able to cover the pitch? Because obviously, I mean, when I saw that, I knew it was going to happen 30 seconds before it happened, because it was like you were playing a game of FIFA on when the game first comes out, and you're playing practice on the beginner setting, and we're playing against the AI, and the AI is just spreading themselves out on one side of the pitch and letting you score goals. So are we drilled enough in doing a different position, a different formation than the 3-4-3?
Sorry, go on, Elias. Go on.
No, David, you go on first. I think you had a question there or something.
Yeah, I was just going to say, just to maybe answer Nick's question as well. I think, look, it's not something I would start with, but it's definitely something I'll be looking at, that you have an option now to be able to change the games. Because he done that against Leicester last season. We went on and won the game 3-2. He done something similar. So I would say they're drilled, but are they drilled enough to be able to switch fluidly during the game to adapt without making substitutions? I wouldn't say so, to be honest, because it is a big sort of change. It is a big ask. What do you do with Kulusevski if you're putting Son up there with Kane, or vice versa? Where do you put them?
Actually,
So I think you'll always have to make substitutions to be able to do that.
Actually, we did that last year in the Wolves game, if you remember, when Conte took Sessegnon off and he put Kulusevski as a midfielder that time. That was one example, and that one did work out, but I think it was a bit too late for that change. I don't think that actually we have problems really as a team that is in a way ready to play as a back four, because Conte is the kind of manager who knows that, yes, when he needs to change the tactics, he would have prepared the players that, yes, this is plan B, this is plan C. These managers, they play at that level that, yeah, their teams are prepared to play that. Ben Davies himself, he has played as a left back before. Dyer himself, he has played
by the way. Before. I don't want everyone to see Ben Davies at left back ever again.
But he used to suck there. We all know that as a left back, Ben Davies used to suck there. But as he has come as a left-sided centre back, he has improved. Romero has played as a right back before under Nuno, and that was even good as well. So I don't think that these players are not really. It's not the matter that whether they have or whether they have not, but it was the midfield again that you are sending in. Like, I was trying to figure out what kind of system they're playing. Is it like 4-2-3, or is it like 4-2-4, or is it like a 4-2-1-3? And then I realized that it was more like a 4-2-1-3, because Kane was dropping in deep to send the balls to Son and Richarlison back then. But it was a good experiment that, we can actually change formations like that. And it was good to see that, yeah, Conte took that risk. Unlike Nuno last year, I remember when Conte came in, not Conte, again, Conte came in that game last year when Chelsea beat us 3-0. I was shocked that actually Nuno didn't make a change there, because that time it was like three in the midfield and they were pressing us again at the midfield. I was shocked that Nuno didn't make a change. That was really shocking for me. I was
Yeah.
saying that you need to send in power into the midfield back then. You can send somebody in, and Nuno didn't do that. But it was good to see. That's the difference between, you can see there between a manager like Nuno and Conte, that they
Yeah.
can work out different systems and different tactics, and they know that, yes, which player can inject that sort of creativity into the squad.
Spot
Look,
on.
he said in Richarlison is a center forward. He's a striker, but being him in there, it actually made a big impact on your midfield, because then Kane could drop in deep. So these are all the mind games that a manager like Conte knows how to play, and that worked.
Yeah, it was. I think you're absolutely spot on. It's the difference between someone that's a born winner and world class, because they're able to change games tactically, even if they don't have the right personnel, etc., etc., etc. And that's the reason why Conte replaced Nuno at the end of the day. But Elias, big yourself up, my man. Appreciate you coming on, and we'll see you again very soon, brother.
See you
Great
guys.
insight, bro. Thank you, man.
Come on, you Spurs.
Come
thing
on,
I
you
actually
Spurs.
wanted to just add on, all the Chelsea fans who have been commenting here and all that. Uh, I just want to say, you cannot blame us for robbing you, because your manager was the one who actually made who made the poor decision in the game and all that. You can't blame Conte for provoking you, because provocations happen everywhere. Provocations are not an excuse. So please stop being crybaby pussios. Yeah.
Yeah. You tell him, Elias, man.
I love it.
I mean,
You
we all
tell
know
him,
who we're
Elias.
talking about here. Yeah.
Elias, see you, brother.
Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs. Everybody, give Elias a lot of love in the comments. A great chat there, actually, with Elias. He has a lot to say. I love that. I absolutely love that. Now, we are going to bump Chris one up the order. If Brad Matthews doesn't mind, Chris has to be up early for work tomorrow. Brad, I know you don't. So if that's all right, give me the thumbs up, my man, so we can get Chris ahead of you.
Yeah,
No, I'm not sure Brad is listening. I'm not sure.
No,
Brad
he's
is
listening. He's listening. He's looking really relaxed over there, man. I don't know if he wants to be disturbed.
We've got a super chat here from Rob Wallace. Sorry, my man, a bit of a tongue twister there. Our left side was poor. Son has been below his high standards. I feel sorry for the team we play when the real Son shows up. Also felt Kulu was marked out of the game. Come on, you Spurs. Look, our left side was targeted yesterday. Look, people, that's the difference between Emerson and Sessegnon. Chelsea targeted Sessegnon. Emerson against the big teams have also had some very good games. No one really talks about it. Yes, they are left-hand side. They overlapped down that side because they knew they were going to get joy. Ben Davies, Sessegnon, the fact that Sonny had a poor game, and anytime he got on the ball, they were right up his hole. They targeted that left-hand side. Thomas Tuchel done his homework. He thought that was a side where he'd get joy, and that's where they got the joy at the end of the day. I agree with you. I feel sorry for the team that comes up against Sonny when he hits form again, because he's not just going to put one in, Nick. He's not. He's going to put in a brace or a hat trick.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I mean, high-profile players go off the boil, and the real the cream rises to the top eventually, man. We all know what happened through 2014 through 2018. Kane doesn't score in August. Kane doesn't score in September. Kane, blah blah blah. It's the same thing, man. Sonny's got to deal with the same kind of situations, man. He'll get his touch and he'll get his clinicism back. We know that happens.
I'm not even worried about Sonny.
I'm not, man. I'm not. We sit once again, man. We snatched a point at Stamford Bridge, the most difficult place for us to get a result. And the game prior to that, the defenders are scoring. The formation's working. Sonny's going to grow into the situation. And that's another point we can bring up later with some other people, is about the growing pains in dealing with Conte's situation and what Son and Kane have been accustomed to and how they've had to play over the last 3-4 seasons, and how that's different, how their roles are now changing, and what the growing pains are going to be to kind of form around that.
Yeah, 100%. Rob, look, I'm not worried about Sonny whatsoever. And just for the last part, Kulu. I mean, look, if anyone was listening to Stats of Jack said it. Kulusevski, when he struggled up against Cucurella, so we call him Cockerella now, struggled against him. Struggled against him when he was at Brighton. Kulusevski was marked over by Cucurella, and it was the same again against Chelsea. Look, maybe he's just the one player that maybe with his speed and stuff can actually can actually play against Kulusevski. But look, Kulusevski dominates nearly every other player he's gone up against. He was marked out of the game yesterday, but again, I'm not concerned. Kulusevski and Son, they'll show up against Wolves, no doubt about it. They'll be better than ever, in my opinion. Look, it'll hurt Kulusevski that he couldn't impact that game yesterday. It'll piss Son off that he was that crap yesterday.
Yeah,
it will.
Yeah.
And they're going to come back against Wolves. These are players with good attitudes. These are players that get affected by bad performances. These are players that I have no doubt will be going home, looking themselves in the mirror and saying, you've got to do better to themselves. I've no doubt about it, and I'm not worried. But, Rob, your analysis here are absolutely spot on, my man. And do not worry, some will get back to them high standards, brother. Big yourself up, my man, and really appreciate the support. Do I feel sorry for the team? No, sorry, that was in regards to Sonny. No, sorry, your grandma, man. Big up, Rob. Dermatron says, we're the mighty Tottenham Hotspur. Let's not forget who we are. I am proud of the past. Bill Nick will be looking down and seeing his house being built stronger and will stand forever. Absolutely love that. What have you got there, Nico? Love it. Love it.
That's for you, Dermo. I got that a couple of weeks ago, man.
Dermot be asking you where you got it now. He'd be jealous.
You know what, man? I'm going to take a little bit of tangent. I know we're short on time, but I have a question about that too, buddy. I got this off Amazon. It's a little side tangent. I got this on Amazon a couple weeks ago. Open it up. Something in here. A little bit shifty. I don't know if you can see that.
No, I can't see it.
Okay, I'm going to read it to you then. Yeah. Hackney Library Services. Call the renewals line, property of the Hackney Council Library. Bought it on Amazon. Methinks something's shifty going on down Hackney Way, possibly.
It's Hackney. Definitely something shifty going on. Definitely something shifty going on. But Dermo, my man, hopefully we can get back to where we were under the Bill Nick days, my man, because all we want is trophies, brother. Big yourself up, my man, and really appreciate the support. And do not worry. Leave it in Conte and Paratici's hands. They're going to build you back that house, my man. And Dark Sun Jesus, game 1, Kulu scores. Game 2, Kane scores. Game 3, Son will score. Absolutely love that, Dark Sun G. It's poetic. It's poetic. So it is. He always comes up with good stuff. He's always listening intently. Big up, Dark Sun G, my man. Really appreciate that. I'll be honest. I want more than one goal. I think Son will score. And I think Kane will score again, to be honest with you, with assist from Kulusevski. I think we're going to beat Wolves. I really do. I think we'll do it well as well, my man. Big up, Dark Sun G, brother. Really appreciate the support. Now, look, let's keep cracking on. Let's start getting the next guest on. The next guest is Chris. Now, I do warn you, he is going to go on a bit of a tangent, so we will let him. Nick and Chris always have a good relationship, so I'm just going to run off to the toilet and leave these two out for 1 minute. Big up, Chris and Boy.
Do you think, David? My man, Chris. My man, Chris, man. You know, it's always a special occasion when we're on together, my friend.
Yeah, definitely, Nick. What's happening, man?
I'm chilling, man. So, did you enjoy watching that? Or
the first half, I was absolutely shocked how bad we were. I didn't expect us to come out like that.
Neither did I, man. Neither did I.
The first 5 minutes, we looked positive. Then afterwards... Then for 60-odd minutes, we were just like, what the fuck's going on?
It looked like we had a game plan when we started. At the kickoff, it looked like there was a plan, but something fell apart, man. What do you think? Is it, we'll go back to, the questions we're asking everybody. Is it tactics or is it the players?
It was the players. They just couldn't handle the midfield. The midfield and the forward line in the first half were non-existent. Yeah. I've never seen Bentancur that poor. Or Højbjerg that poor, for that matter. Sonny, Kane, and Kulu, the first half, were just passengers in the game. It was like, what the fuck's going on?
Yeah.
We just got swamped. We got swamped in that first half, Nick. There was no doubt. Chelsea were better than us in that first half. They were 100 times better than us. They were quicker than us to the ball, the second ball. Their first goal. What the hell was that sort of defending? Koulibaly in miles of space. Miles. No one nowhere near him.
So my question around that in particular is, I mean, there has to be, though, I'm convinced in Conte, and I have been from the beginning, but there's a breakdown of either communication or understanding of what the plan is. And I'm going to actually go a little left field on here. I actually think that from when I watched the match the second time, that our players were actually following instructions. It's just they weren't playing good football. They were in the right positions and in the positions they've been instructed to be in, but things like the first touches, clearances, pass accuracy was all out the window. However, we're supposed to be doing better at set pieces. Granted, we are. But what happens when you leave a, arguably world-class, a defender that everybody fears? Where does it go wrong that you leave him all alone on the box? The cross from Cucurella went directly to him. Was not in the center, was not anywhere, but directly at Koulibaly, man. So where is the breakdown?
It just looked like not the players didn't know which player was supposed to be marking who. It was just it just looked like someone was supposed to be marking Koulibaly, but he was nowhere near him. Dyer's looking around like, who am I marking? And it's like you're looking at it like, pick up your player. If Son gets close to Koulibaly does not score that goal. Some they stood off him.
What I will say on that is I actually watched a brilliant breakdown of the game today, tactical breakdown on, I think it was TIFO. And your man was saying he studied Chelsea's corners for a long time, apparently. And only twice have they actually done outswinging corners. One last week by Cucurella and one last season somewhere. They don't usually do outswinging corners. So Tottenham set up in our zonal marking the way we did because Chelsea have the in-swingers coming in towards the near post. So that's why we set up the way we did.
Okay.
But so they did catch us off guard. They'd done their homework, presuming we'd set up one way and then done an outswinger towards Koulibaly. But it still doesn't legislate for players not speaking to each other, being able to deal with something different that they haven't been told going into the game. They still have to learn the game.
That's what I know. It's just the players were looking at each other like, well, who's got who?
Yeah.
They were confused. They were like, who's not picking up Koulibaly? Who's picking up Havertz? Who's picking up Reece? And all that. Who's picking up Loftus-Cheek? Who's picking up the players?
Well, see, because we're doing zonal marking, not man marking. Because we're doing zonal marking, not man marking, they're all responsible for individual zones in the box rather than actual players, and that's why we're getting caught under Conte because it's zonal and not man marking. We're not going man for man, so therefore nobody knows who they're picking up. So, but what happens then is they're getting free runs on us. So when they get that leap, they already have the momentum with them. So that's why every team is winning the headers against us, getting them on targets, maybe putting them over. That's why they're winning the headers fundamentally, because they're just running in at us. We're standing there. The momentum's carrying them through, and that momentum wins them the ball every single time.
See,
that may actually run right to King Hoddle's point right there too, man, with the goal from Ward-Prowse.
That's exactly what I was going to say, Nick. That's exactly what I was going to say. King Hoddle's got a valid point there. It was exactly the same last week with Ward-Prowse. Exactly the same issue. And we need to stop those mistakes. This is what's going to cost us if we do keep making these same mistakes. We're going to end up fucking up against a team that we should not be fucking up against.
Yeah.
With a silly mistake like this.
Well, so I got to say, man, it's got to be Conte's adjustment that has to be made. I mean, He has to be saying, okay, so if this is happening, then we have to adjust and we have to plan for it, because obviously there was no plan.
But the thing is, Nick, do you think that these players should have to be trained in absolutely everything? Or if an unfamiliar scenario comes up in a game, should they have the nous? Let's remember, they're professional Premier League footballers. Should they have the nous to be able to problem solve? Because this is this is my problem with academy football now. You get all the players coming out, all the sort of danger is coached out of them. Everything's coached out of them. They're not really taught how to beat players anymore, whereas you could find them players 10 a penny back in the day when I was watching football. They're being told absolutely everything. And that's why, for me, you're seeing this knock-on effect in games where people cannot problem solve during games.
David, I actually think you have a really good point there, and I think that you have to be fluid. You have to be able to think on your feet. But is it a case where Conte is very rigid in how he wants his teams to play? That doesn't mean he doesn't want them to be creative. It means he wants them to follow instructions first and then be creative. What I saw for at least the first half plus of that game was a team that was trying to follow instructions, but the tactical decisions of the opposition threw them into disarray. And maybe Tucci was a little bit too tactically prepared for Conte. We were able to squeak out of it. Yeah, in the first half he was. So, you know what, Chris, about the second half, man, what do you think really made the difference as far as pushing us forward? Was it Conte himself? Was it was it him on the sidelines? Was it Højbjerg's goal itself?
It was a combination. I think it was a combination of everything. It was taking Sessegnon off for Perisic, because Sessegnon, he had the worst game I've seen. He was terrible. He was absolute diabolical the whole game.
Mm-hmm. From anything else you want to say down there, Chris? Any more words for?
he needs to be dropped against Wolves. He needs to be dropped. Sorry, no, he can't be starting against Wolves, because Wolves have got that sort of team who are going to attack us, and they're going to do they're going to see what happened against Chelsea, and they're going to do the same to him. They're going to overload him down the wing. We need somebody like Perisic there who's got experience and who's got a footballing brain and knows exactly what he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
For me, Sessegnon, I think, made his bed yesterday, where he's like, Conte looks at him like, maybe it's not a good idea playing him in big games.
Well, I got to say, I'm a little worried about that, because I can understand the thinking behind that for the Wolves game, but what do you do the next game, and what do you do with Sessegnon?
See, the thing is, you're going to have to balance it out. There's games coming up like Nottingham Forest. We've got Fulham coming up.
Yeah, right.
Play him in them games where the pressure's not going to be on him so much.
Yep.
But a high pressure game like the Battle of the Bridge, that you showed him how weak mentality he's actually got.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But see, the positives now, we can go to the positives of the game, was Romero. That was the positive of the game. The shit out.
A lot of people would say that's not so much. I certainly agree with you. I liked everything I saw, man.
The shithousery. We've missed that in our team since Lamela left. Lamela was the one who used to have that shithousery, doing the dirty little kicks, the fouls, the pulling of the hair and all that. That was Lamela's sort of attributes. And Romero's actually come in and continued that. And you know what? I had to watch the replay of him pulling Cucurella down by the hair and just had a good old laugh at it.
I was like,
do you know, I just had to rewind it a couple of times, Nick, just to see it again, because it was just so funny. It's just Cucurella's reaction afterwards. He just doesn't know what he's looking at. He's just looking around like...
He's physically up. He doesn't know what to do. He doesn't know whether to cry at the ref. He doesn't know whether to ask the fans for help. I don't think he could even believe that Romero even attempted it with VAR in play. Exactly. I mean, he was so shook and dumbfounded. It was unbelievable. Chris, I do want to ask you something quickly on that, though. Just quickly, my man. Is a lot of people are saying, "Oh, it's stupid," but
no, not at all.
For me, what he done is right. Chelsea were defending them corners pretty well near the end. And what he done is he took them out of the zone completely by doing that to Cucurella. They laid the game a little, and then I believe by doing that, he took them out of the zone, and that's why we went and won that second second head. We were switched off, and I believe I give credit to Romero for that, because they were all focused. Clear this ball, we win the game. And the next thing you just see, honestly, I'd say Romero felt like swinging him around the head by his fucking...
You know what, David? I think, to be honest with you, I think they bust up with Tuchel actually fired the players up, where they've seen, right, our gaffer's getting involved with them. Yeah. We need to do something like that, and that's, I think, that started to see with Richarlison when he came on. He started being having little bites at the players. You know what I mean? Like, but that's what we need to see in the team. But I was watching Fraud Sports earlier, and they had that Dermot Gallagher on, that ref. I was like, the fuck? It was a full blown dissection of how we should have lost that game. It was just nothing but negativity. The 2 goals shouldn't have been given, or it was a foul by Bentancur. Romero should have got a red card. The second goal shouldn't have been given. Chelsea were robbed. I'm like, are they serious? I'm like, well, hold on a minute. Would they do that if that was Man United or Liverpool?
Of course they wouldn't. I was expecting Sherlock Holmes, Chris.
I was waiting for the magnifying glass to come out and go and see. Let me have a look a bit closer. Do you know what I mean? But no, it's like, I don't care. I want to see that shithousery in every single match we play.
Yeah.
The cheeky little kicks, the little flick at the heels, the little elbows where the ref is not looking. Do you know what I mean? The shithousery that we were called nice guys by Jose, and that reputation stuck with us. That reputation stuck with us, David, and we don't want that.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I could not agree more, Chris.
I just want to see more of it. I just want to see more shithousery. And I think, as I said in my as I said in my after-match thing I'd done for you,
the fan cam. Yep.
Yeah, the fan cam. I said it. Conte's attitude is starting now to show in the players, which is what I want to see.
Yeah.
His attitude is now distilling into the players' mentality, which is most important. Because we did, David, we would have folded last season under Nuno, the Gnome. We would have folded, but we would have lost about 5-0.
Sure, we folded at the Battle of the Bridge. You know, we were winning the game. They roughed us up. We ended up folding. We couldn't. Look, it was great to see Dyer and that stand up to people, but the reality of it is they roughed us up and we folded. Whereas we counteracted that and we done it to them yesterday.
We did it. They're still salty. I've been abusing the Chelsea fans the whole day, giving
Chris, 100,000 signatures. I mean, it's embarrassing, no?
Do you know what though? The amount of petitions we could have put out when we've been wronged, we would have had about 60 or 70 different petitions. You know what I mean?
I believe the fact that it got over 100,000 it can actually be debated in Parliament. I believe.
But David, you know what?
Really?
It's true. If you get over 100,000 signatures, it then becomes an option to be debated in Parliament. And it wouldn't surprise me with some of them pencil pushers for it to be there. But turn on BBC News tomorrow, Chris. It'll be, should Anthony Taylor ref a Chelsea game again? It's ridiculous.
David, see, we could have easily put a petition against Mike Dean then, couldn't we? Saying we don't really want him to ref us again.
Yeah, 100%,
Do you know what I mean?
man.
How many times he screwed us over? We could have put that petition out. But it just shows the Chelsea fans' mentality, doesn't it?
Yeah.
They don't like it when we rough them up. When they rough them up, it's all good and fine. But when we go and do to them, they don't like it, do they? Thomas the Turtle didn't like it.
He wasn't a turtle when he went sprinting down the touchline, Chris.
I know, but as Conte said, if I would have seen him, I would have tripped him over.
That was brilliant.
That is just a quality.
See my manager come out with something like that. If I thought that during the game, if I was Conte, I'd probably clothesline the con. You know, but to see him come out with that after the game, I mean, I was just applauding it. I was in awe. I was like, that is my manager.
See, we got bear in mind as well. Richarlison's only been with us for a few weeks. And look at him already. Defending the manager saying, "Oi, ref, go and send him off as well, then. Go on. What are you doing? You're sending my manager off. Go send him off. Go on. Point it straight to Turtle."
He more or less brought the referee over to him. You know, brilliant.
Yeah, it was certainly. He was like, "Go on, just get over there. Just give him the red card."
But you know what was even better? The way he just looks at Tuchel and he just goes, you know, it's like
exactly. Yeah, you
was that Richarlison did that?
Yeah,
he just shrugged his shoulders.
I missed that.
Okay. But see, David. Now, if we take this mentality into Wolves, because last season we got smacked by Wolves, didn't we? To be fair,
well, Winks in midfield. I don't take.
To be fair, they've had a habit of beating us at home for some strange reason for the last few years. Right,
we've always struggled against Wolves. I mean, even when we had Robbie Keane and Pavlyuchenko up front, Wolves always gave us a run for our money. Always.
Exactly. So now we need to rough Wolves up because they don't like it when they get roughed up either. So if we do that to Wolves, we're going to put the fear of God into them, and then we'll come up with a nice little result. But for me, Saturday, Sessegnon on the bench, Perisic to start. That's it.
Yeah.
You're making me change my mind a little bit there, Chris, man, because I had a little bit of different opinion.
Or maybe, and then
what's your different opinion, Nick? Give it to us.
Well, my opinion is Perisic is your ace in the hole, and Conte knows that he can make the difference when you really do need to change the game. As we all know, Sessegnon is a confidence player, and when he has a bad game, maybe against this Wolves side, which is somewhat depleted, this is where you kind of try to unleash him and see if you can make up for him. And if he's crap, then you take him off as soon as possible and you get Perisic back in there. However, I'm thinking with the games further from that, with Fulham, with Forest, maybe you just go in there, with West Ham, depending on how Sessegnon does. You know what? This is why you brought in these people. I think you make a good point. You take him out and put in somebody that you know for a fact is going to do the job, and say, this is how you play this position. Now go play against Forest like him.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was saying, Nick. By all means, you could play Sessegnon against Wolves, but I think you'd probably struggle against the pace of Wolves. But
doesn't deserve to play against Wolves.
But Perisic, he can handle the pressure, right? But somebody against Forest or Fulham, I think Cess will be okay with them. But I'd even rest Kulu on Saturday, actually, and put Richarlison in.
Nah, surely not.
No, I would rest him.
That's an interesting one, man. That's an interesting one. I'm not so sure about that either.
I would actually put Kulu on the bench, give him a bit of breathing space, because he's just let him recuperate, because he got bullied. He got bullied yesterday. Let's be fair. Kulu got bullied.
He's saying, Chris, start Richarlison, if anything, just to fire up Sonny's ass. Bring Son on fresh with a point to prove.
I think that's the hot take right there.
See, Sonny, I'll tell you what, I don't think I've seen him that poor for a long time, like he was yesterday. Yeah, I don't think I've seen Sonny that. I don't think I've seen him that bad for a few years. He's had bad performances, but yesterday he was truly terrible.
Yeah. Well, and you know what though, Ben? Too, what's so frustrating is it wasn't like he wasn't trying, to be a part and trying to make an impact. It's just that 80% of everything that he was doing was a mistake.
Wrong.
He was losing the ball, running into blind alleys, and bad passes.
I think in the first 25 minutes.
That's the second week in a row, by the way. He's lost the ball that led to a goal. He lost the ball that led to that corner kick for Chelsea, and he also lost the ball that led to their Southampton's goal for Ward Prowse. It's 2 weeks on a trot. You can't keep doing that.
David, I have to say.
When you were saying, he's the golden boot winner, he has to expect teams to get up his arse. They're not going to let him get turned on the ball when they know that's how he's going to kill them. So they're going to get straight up his arse with his back towards goal and not let him get turned. So he's going to have to get used to that. He can't keep giving away the ball like that and costing us goals.
Well, David, I have to say, in the first 25 minutes, I think he must have lost the ball at least 9 or 10 times. In the first 15, 20 minutes of that Chelsea first half yesterday. 10 times he lost the ball in space of 25 minutes. And I was like, what is going on? Kane puts the ball over the top to him. He miscontrols it. Sends himself wide. And you're like, what the hell?
Yeah. He was awful.
He was just so off pace.
It's not what we like to see, man. It's not what we like to see, but we know that we know that he's going to come good sooner rather than later. Yeah, without a doubt. So
Sonny's got that issue though. He's got a thing where he will go cold, then all of a sudden, then you'll start seeing him firing again. Then he'll go cold again. He's hit and miss.
And I know, and I think with that in mind, there is a shout for maybe do you start Richarlison?
Exactly. That's why I'm saying, look, if Conte ain't prepared to drop Sonny, he'll probably drop Kulu to the bench for the Wolves game and see how Richarlison goes on. Yeah.
Can't drop Kulu. You just can't. I'm sorry. I agree with a lot what you said, Chris, but you can't drop Kulu. But you can't do it.
I know you can't, but David, in hindsight, you're going to burn Kulu out in the first few games where we've got other games coming up as well. He's got to balance it out where possibly will he drop Son? I can't see it.
Look, I can't see it either. I don't think he will drop some. I think some will play. Look, it's harsh to drop him. Last year's Golden Boot. I think a player like that, you've just kind of got to persist with, because he persisted with him last season when his son was going through a bit of a patch at one stage. Look, for me, Richarlison changed the games in terms of tactically and working hard and stuff like that. But on the ball, he was useless. So for me, I would actually probably just keep Kane, Son, and Kulu for the next game. But look, Chris.
But as I said, for me, it's like the same with Emerson and Doherty, and you've got Jed Spencer. You've got that right wing back position there now. Yeah, who do you start? Me personally, I know Emerson's come on for a lot of criticism, but yesterday, in that first half, I don't think he did a lot wrong, because he kept standing quite quiet.
Yeah.
You know what, man? I wasn't trying to watch for Emerson, so I have a hard time finding what he did wrong either. Other than he had those two, he got into the final third, he got right to the byline, and he had those two early on low crosses. They weren't going anywhere, but his interplay between him and Kane, between those, I mean, that was at least something that was progressive. It was something that was making something happen.
See, the thing is, Nick, right, with that, right, a lot of people have criticised Emerson for how he's not that good, or he's now. Yesterday, even that we were shocking. We all know how bad we were in that first half. I think he was one of the better players in the first half than most of the team.
Yeah.
And that says
I can't disagree with that.
That says something, doesn't it? Because Ben Davies was just shocking the whole game. Eric Dyer, I don't know what he was thinking yesterday with his positioning. It was just so lopsided, and it was pathetic.
You bring that up, man, and I think that there's a lot that has to be tactically analyzed.
We need a new centre back.
Yeah,
we need a new centre back. It's that simple. We need a new centre back.
Couldn't agree more.
But we're talking about two people that supposedly that had their better seasons last year under Conte and under
makes no difference.
Yeah,
makes no difference, Nick. That makes no blind bit of difference. Yeah, because yesterday against the big teams, we need to perform. You can't be playing brilliant against a shit team like Norwich.
Mm-hmm.
Then go against Chelsea and I play absolutely atrocious.
Yeah, you got a point, man. You got a point. You got a point right there.
Look, Chris,
I think Bobby K's going to slag me off for slagging off Dyer now.
Nah, look, Dyer deserves every bit of it. Like, look, people know. I'm not even going to go into it, but people know my feelings on the guy. I get the son loves him, but look, I'm trying to work on that. I'm trying to get him to realize Dyer's fault. So we'll see.
Yeah, I've tried. Dave, I've tried. It doesn't work. I've tried.
I know. But look, we better keep this show moving, my man. So
yeah. Well, listen, man. Listen, last question for Chris, man. So Lo Celso has his move, at least for 12 months. It looks like in Domberger. Hopefully, fingers crossed, he's got his move. But I know you're going to go to sleep tonight. Feeling good that Winks is still at the club. And there's always a chance for him.
Nick,
I just
Nick, I used to like you. I'm not sure if I do now after that. That is just an insult. Do you know what? The day Winks leaves, I will be getting my beers out of the fridge and celebrating one by bloody one. I'm telling you.
I'll have one with you. I don't drink. I'll have one with you.
Two players that I've wanted gone for ages. Endom shit, and Giolo shit show gone. Both of them gone. I am so pleased. The last one to leave, Winks. I am so happy. I'm waiting for that guy to. But the problem is, I can't see anybody that wants him.
Yep.
Yeah.
We can't even give him to a championship team.
But Chris, what manager looks at their midfield and goes, gee, we got a huge problem in the passing department, or we've got a huge problem in terms of turning over the ball. What manager's sitting there going, the answer is Harry Winks. That's
David, the problem is David, the issue is, even the likes of Everton have turned him down. And that says something.
Yeah.
Even Frank Lampard turned around and said, no, I don't want him.
Yeah. Spot on.
So who's going to take him? Leighton Orient? No, they don't want him either. They don't win him either.
I need a cleaner, Chris. I'll take him. You know, I need a cleaner, my man.
Yeah,
But look,
€1.50 an hour, yeah?
No, that's too expensive. I mean, I doubt his cleaning abilities are that good, Chris.
So listen, Chris, man, I wouldn't have done that unless Jack hit me on the DM and said, stick it to Chris real quick for me, even though I'm on vacation. That's the only reason. Yeah.
Jack, when you come back from vacation, I'm coming for you. I'm coming for you.
But look, Chris,
anyway, much love, brother. Much love, brother.
Much love.
Always great to see you.
Also, come on, you Spurs. Let's smash Wolves on Saturday. At least we'll get a bit of a respite.
Love it.
Yeah,
absolutely.
100%.
Big up, Chris. Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs. Speak to you later, lads.
See you, my man.
Take care, buddy.
Everybody give Chris a lot of love in the comments. He's absolutely brilliant crack. He has a lot of good points that I actually agree with him on. He thinks like me, so of course I'm going to agree with him. But big up, Chris. Dark Song G with the super chat set. Wolves have weak fullbacks in Gibbs, White, and Nouri, who was playing poor at the minute. Own goal versus Leeds, and gives a pen versus Fulham, and then Donkor in midfield. No worries for a possible upset unless Moutinho plays with Neves. I mean, Nick, are you worried about an upset coming up from Wolves at the weekend? Should we be worried?
I actually think that I'm more confident in a positive result than we were. Where all our pumped up, hyped up, pie in the sky juice going into this Chelsea match. I really expect a dominant performance at home, with Conte laying into these motherfuckers. Seriously, it needs to happen. If we do not come out with a positive result, then we are in serious trouble right now. Yeah. And you know what? I haven't scouted Wolves' new acquisitions. I did. Didn't they bring in Gonzalo Guedes? Something like that? They brought in somebody. They brought in more Portuguese players. We all know that. That happened. But I'm not, with Jimenez out, right? And then, their other deficiencies, they're going to be hurting. We need to exploit it 100%. And I definitely think we have the ability to do that. So I'm much more positive on a positive result right now.
Yeah, I agree. Look, Wolves do give us tough tests, and I know they beat us at home last year, but we had Harry Winks in midfield. We had to take off Session after like 20, 30 minutes. It was just a complete shit show from start to finish. Do I think that's going to happen this time? No. I agree with Nick. I think Conte will have them absolutely ready to go for the Wolves. Look, got away with one against Chelsea. But, you've all the pundits talking about you saying you got the job done, well, you've got to go out and back it up today. Liverpool also dropped points. So you want to sneak your second position, you've got to go and capitalise on that, and you've got to go out and get the job done today. Look, then Donkor, I'll be honest, I don't rate. Nouri, don't rate. Gibbs White, I think he's a good youngster, but I believe, he's been touted with a move all summer long. So I'm not worried there. They've got Hwang up front. So the only threat really from Wolves is getting the ball in behind for him to get onto. To put the ball up in the air, we're going to win it all day long. So, look, for me, I'm not really worried. I think we'll beat Wolves. They don't really score too many goals either. They just do not score goals. It's their biggest problem. In fact, if Fabio Silva is fit, I know he's out injured, but if he's fit and he comes back in, he's got hair like Cucurella. So Romero's just going to take that off him anyway. So
yeah, that's right.
I'm not really too worried. Look, Moutinho and Neves in midfield. I think Højbjerg and Bentancur, Højbjerg and Basuma are good enough, in my opinion, to look. I think Neves is a wonderful footballer, good passer, got a good shot. Moutinho, same thing, got a good eye for a pass and a good shot. Just close them down. It's going to be 2 against 2. Win your battle, you win the game. It's that simple. But big up, Dark Song G, brother. Really, really appreciate the support, my man. But look, we will keep this moving. The next guest, we've got 3 guests left. We've got Brad, KPV, and Ian. So we'll get Brad on. He's been waiting patiently, kind enough to let Chris go ahead of him as well. Brad, how are you keeping, man?
Hello, sorry, I can't look in the eye. Sorry.
Oh, yeah. No, you wouldn't. You wouldn't after a result like this show, man,
But I mean, Brad, what's your assessment of the game?
I was disappointed in the fact that we didn't play well. I didn't go for it. I know I was confident we could get a result, but I didn't go with the old 3-1, 3-0, 4-1 that people were saying. But I was disappointed that we still seem to have that mental block at Stamford Bridge. I mean, my heart sinks as soon as I see the stadium, Stamford Bridge. So, but I'm only a fan watching it. So I thought I was disappointed at that. But then I think the reason we didn't play well, because I think our skills seemed to desert us. We couldn't hold on to the ball for 5 seconds. We kept making poor passes. We kept the ball would come into us. We'd miscontrol it. Now, whether that's down to the mentality of that sort of moment, I don't know. But I think our skill level.
Do you think it comes down to like contest tactics? Do you think it comes down to just sheer effort from the players? Mentality. If you had to pinpoint it, what would you think it is?
I think it's very interesting that when the new players came on, the players that haven't been scarred by the past performances at Stamford Bridge, when the new players came on in the second half, we seem to improve. So I still think it's getting better. Don't get me wrong. I still think there is a mental blockage there when we go to Stamford Bridge, and we need to get rid of that. But I think that will come in time. I think when these new players get integrated into the team more, when they become fitter, and we'll start playing in these sort of big games, and I think that'll definitely help. I think tactically, Conte made changes. Maybe he could have made them a bit earlier. Maybe brought the change in at half time. But I felt that when we went to the back four, we didn't adapt to that very well. Now, we don't know how much they do that in training as an alternative to how they play, but they didn't seem to adapt to that. And I also think that
at that time, though, Brad, I think they were just going for the game rather than worrying about tactics.
Exactly. The 4-2-4 suggests to me that he was going, well, let them worry about us.
Yeah.
We've got the goal back. Let them worry about us rather than us
But
worrying
speaking about changes, though, Brad, from the bench, I mean, when was the last time you can remember that a manager has changed the game tactically from the bench? When it didn't happen under Jose Mourinho, it didn't happen under Pochettino. It's been a long time. So how good is it that our manager actually has the nous to be able to do with that? Because Tuchel changed up his tactics as well during the game and stuff like that. For Conte to see that, identify it, and react to it, that's genius.
Yeah. No, I was very pleased to see that happening, because we definitely needed to change something. Well, I mean, we were back in the game in the second half, but we still weren't playing at 100%. I don't think still weren't at our best, and I was disappointed in the fact that when we got the goal back, and you've been saying, and everyone's been saying that Højbjerg still did this and Conte's on the bench. I thought, we're going to get him now. We're going to go for this now, and we might get a result here. So they equalised. I mean, if you look at the actual timings of the goal, they equalised 7 minutes later, but there was a lot of time off because of all the controversy and the drinks break. We actually, playing-wise, they actually equalised within about a couple of minutes, 2 or 3 minutes.
We were not ready for the reaction to our formation change.
No, we weren't, and maybe that break was the thing that caused the problem, that you have to start again after we got the goal. If we'd have kicked off after that goal, then I think we would have been different. But because we had to suddenly stop, and you had the drinks break and all that sort of thing, I think that sort of was a bit of a cause for it. But I also think that when you concede goals, you concede the goal as a team. So I don't go with blaming individual players for conceding goals, because we can have a go at Dyer, we can have a go at Davis, but at the end of the day, the reason they were attacking because we lost the ball further up the pitch. So
100% for that second goal, Brad. I don't think you can blame any individual or any two individuals for that. No. That was a complete breakdown in defensive structure.
Yeah, it was.
We could see it. It went as it was happening. They were showing the bird's eye view of what was going on, and we all saw it coming, man.
Yeah.
So that's a team. That's a team.
I'm still worried that we're conceding goals from set pieces.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean,
what's the problem, Brad, from set pieces? Because this cannot continue, man. It can't keep. We're going to get undone eventually. So, what's the problem when you look at it?
Well, I think the problem we had yesterday was, and it's been brought up in this show, was the zonal marking that we didn't. We seem to. They're given these instructions. You have this set of space, but you got to be switched on and think, hang on a minute, there's 3 players. Because it wasn't only Koulibaly, it was about 2 or 3 players that were unmarked.
Yeah.
And when I looked at it, and again, I don't want to blame players, but there was like Son, I think Emerson were like in that vicinity. So whether someone has to take charge and say, "Oh, look at him out there," So yeah, I've never been a fan of zonal marking, but then I'm not a successful football manager, so
you see Conte changing anytime soon, though, Brad?
I think Conte will, whether it happens today or tomorrow, will sit down and go through that game and analyse it with the players. And I think if he feels that changing the system will benefit Tottenham and the way we defend, I think he will. Let's not forget when Chelsea won the title under Conte, they got drubbed by Arsenal, didn't they? 3-0, and he went to a back three, totally changed it, and they went.
Yeah.
17 game unbeaten run, and I think ironically it was us that ended that unbeaten run. But so I think if he feels the need to change it, he will. But he's also got to do what his players are comfortable with, what they can, how much they can take in. But yeah, it is a worry. It is a worry at the moment.
Across that back line, they don't have a brain between them.
Yeah, well, this is it. I think the problem was with yesterday was we obviously didn't have Lenglet because he had that slight injury, so you couldn't change it that much. And I think this is why.
So that's a good question, man. That's a good question, Brad. So, of our signings right now, like who is there somebody that would have made a difference in that first 65 minutes? And is it Lenglet? Because I mean that's one glaring, person that's out of there. Does Skip make a difference?
I haven't seen a lot of Lenglet play.
Yeah,
I think Skip would have been ideal in yesterday's game. Actually, I think Skip on his top of his game. Obviously, he's not fit at the moment. I think he would have. He plays without fear from whenever I've seen him. In fact, if we go back to the Emirates, that debacle, which let's face it, if we'd have had Nuno there yesterday, that could have happened to us yesterday. We could have been 3-0 down at half time.
Yeah,
absolutely. But because this new mentality, this attitude, as I say, they've still got that mental block, but it's a lot better than what it was. So I think, and Skip in that game against the Emirates, Skip didn't play in the first half.
Yeah,
and when he came on in the second half, we got a goal back.
Backbone.
So, yeah. So I think, as I say, I've not seen enough of Lenglet to know, and he was injured anyway. And I think that's why they had Tanganga on the bench instead of Spence, because I think he gave a little bit more muscle in that defence. But there are definitely issues there. I mean, in a way, we've got this. I mean, our three most difficult away games: Chelsea, Arsenal, and Liverpool. That's where we've had a really, really, really poor record over the last years. So we've got one of the games out of the way now, So and it's early in the season, and to get a point. And that's the thing. That's what you need to do. You need to look at the game, look at what went wrong, and then forget about it, and then say, right, on to the next game because we got the point. That's what's on the scoreboard. The point. We've gone to Chelsea. Now, if Liverpool went to Chelsea and got a point, they'd be pleased with it. If Man City went to Chelsea and got a point, they'd probably be pleased with it. So we mustn't underestimate that. But as David, I think you were saying earlier, we've got to go and beat Wolves.
Yeah.
We've got to go and beat Wolves, and I think we've got. This is where I think there's going to be some rotation coming in because I think we've got West Ham on them in the midweek, haven't we?
Yeah, we've got Wolves. I think it's West Ham, then Forest or Fulham after that.
Yeah, So I think that's when you're going to see a bit of rotation because by that time, hopefully the players the new players have played a bit more, trained a bit more, and a bit fitter.
Well, what game would you do some rotation for then? The Wolves or the West Ham game? Because look, West Ham are not in great form. Lost to City, outplayed, lost to Nottingham Forest. So. I mean, what game do you think you should rotate in then?
I think because there's been a week between games, I think Conte will still go with the same team against Wolves on Saturday. But I think West Ham will be the first time you see team changes. I think he needs to then because that's the whole point of having a big squad. And let's face it, yesterday. We had Richarlison coming off the bench. We had Perisic coming off the bench. We had Basuma coming off the bench. They're not bad players to come off the bench. So we're in a much, much better position. I mean, not wanting to bring up these players, but this time last season, we'd be bringing Dele Alli back. We'd be playing Harry Winks back. They'd be coming off the bench. So we're in a much, much better position. And I also like to have a go at the and they're everywhere. The celebration police are out there. Yes, I had to say, yeah, they're everywhere at the moment. That apparently, well, I made the point today on We Are for Tottenham TV. I said, well, if you can't go, if you can't go to a game against your biggest rival, one of your biggest rivals, away from home, really important game, and you equalise in the last seconds, last kick of the game, if you don't want to celebrate, well, then maybe football's not the sport for you. You know,
exactly, man.
And
Exactly,
I
man.
was jumping around like a mad fucker yesterday when we got that, and the pub was relatively empty actually, which surprised me. And I was in front of the screen, sort of thing.
Were you the only Spurs fan in there, or are there others?
No, it's really funny because a mate of mine was with me, and he's Brentford, but he's got a soft spot for Spurs. And there's a guy on the table in front, and he's obviously on his own with his pint. And what I tend to do, if I don't know who they support, I won't talk to them directly, but I'll be talking to my mate and talking loudly enough so they can hear. You know,
as you
so
do,
find out who they support. And he was a Tottenham supporter. He was very, very quiet, but he was a Tottenham supporter. So there were actually, I don't think there were any Chelsea fans in there. So yeah. But,
100%. I couldn't agree more. I could not agree more, my man. Great to see you out there, though, enjoying yourself in the pub watching these games. Your life is back now.
Probably had more beers than I intended to, because when you get chatting to people and that, and look, we're all pleased. We're all as disappointed as I was with the performance. We're all pleased at that point. We're all really, really pleased at that point.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you, Brad. I mean, look, I woke up this morning. It's kind of like, should I be concerned about the performance, or should I be happy about the plate?
Well, I think the performance, and we tend to forget. I mean, we all, let's face it, we all, myself included, underestimated Chelsea. And I've probably got on this show said, they
you know what?
Defensive changes are, they're not going to get into a river.
We underestimated Chelsea though, because like going into that game, they were before the Everton game, they were on a 4-game losing streak, I believe, towards the end of last season. They were crap all pre-season. They were shit against Everton. They just turned up against us. That's the best they played in a long time. Even Chelsea fans were playing.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. They could put a team of 11 old age pensioners and they raise the game against us. It's just how it goes in these sort of games. But yeah, let's not forget the fact that we've played a very good team and come away with a point. So, and I was watching the game yesterday and I thought, well, yeah, the skill level was bad, but we know we're a decent team. We know we've got good players. And we got good players to come off the bench, and we'll get better. And I think the fact that we got this game out of the way before any team's got any chance to get any sort of rhythm, where we're probably in a better position for rhythm anyway, because we've got the same lineup that finished the season last season, so they've been playing with each other.
100%. Nick, you any questions there for Brad? Anything on your mind you want an answer to?
Yeah, Bradman, I actually, specifically to you, about our talisman. People have talked on and off for the last couple of years. Is Kane undroppable? Is he?
The answer for that is yes.
David, this question is not for you. It's for Brad. Okay. Last game against Southampton, Kane was the worst player on the pitch. Yet two things happen at this game. A, Kane scores the last-minute goal. It's a header from a set piece. All three situations we have not seen in a long time. Used to see them a lot more under Poch specifically. But does this quiet that concern about Kane and whether you start rotating him? Do you keep him on for as long as you can possibly keep him on for every game, at least through the season?
Whilst we're playing one game a week, yeah, of course you do. This is a world-class player. Same with Sonny. I mean, I can't believe that people are talking about dropping Sonny 2 games into the season because he's had a couple of average games. I mean, I'm sure Messi's had a couple of average games before now. It's what happens, what people do. We're only footballers are human beings, which we seem to forget sometimes. Maybe he had a bad dream maybe he had a nightmare that night and it freaked him out, and he couldn't get it together. There's all these things that happen that we're not aware of. So to talk about dropping those 2 players after just 2 games, or I think that we will be resting them as we get into the 2 games a week.
Yeah.
And let's face it, there's no problem with taking Kane off if you're 3 up or 4 up against the team. But when you're playing Chelsea and you're looking for that goal, you're perfectly right. You know, you've got a corner. Who do you want to have in there? You know, and he's done it many times. Yeah,
it's
so
Harry Kane.
It doesn't matter what score it is. It doesn't matter what game it is. Spurs fans need to realize you do not take off Harry Kane. Don't do it. He's your creator. He's your goal scorer. Harry Kane does not get dropped. That's what I'm talking about, Nick. That jersey gives me a hard on, especially with the name. I love it. I love it. But Kane does not get dropped. We need to learn this. We all need to learn this. But Brad, why don't you tell people about your music channel?
Yeah, no, I've got my music channel. It's Blue Sofa Songs. It's got about 10 songs on there now. It's just me and the guitar. They're all songs that I've written myself. My lyrics are mine. The music's mine. You're not going to get Lennon and McCartney, to put it that way, but it's just me trying to make sense of the world and sense of things I experience. It's just a different thing from football, really. I've now set it up on Twitter. So there's a B Sofa Songs is the Twitter handle. I'm sure if you search for Blue Sofa Songs or my name, you'll find it. So I'm gonna obviously it's on YouTube, but then I can link it put the YouTube video onto Twitter. So there's so I'm trying to follow people through that thing so that people follow me back and go that way. So so please have a look and hopefully you like it. Click like, subscribe. I've now got 70 subscribers. So hopefully be able to get up by 100 by the end of the year with any luck. And then I think you get some sort of thing when you get 100 subscribers. I think you get some sort of benefit out of it. I'm not sure what. I'm still thinking of ways to improve the channel, because at the moment, just me sitting playing guitar on the sofa, it could probably get a bit boring. So I'm thinking of ways that I can change that. It may not happen this week, but I'm still trying to do that. Still got some songs to put out. Still writing new songs. In fact, the one I put on last week was literally written a couple of days before. So I'm still doing it. So I enjoy doing it. Sometimes I don't get it right. Sometimes I do. So, it's just one of those sort of things. So please have a look. And
Brad, can I give you a suggestion based on the little that I know about you and the effect that you have on me personally?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, so I've been watching you now on We Are Tottenham TV and on this channel now for about a year, and I will say, and I've said it before, I kind of live vicariously through you, and that's because when you are at the matches and you give your commentary at the end, I really feel like I'm getting a first-hand view of what it's like to be a supporter there.
Oh, thank you. That's
really, an idea of what the atmosphere is like, what your emotions were like there, man.
That's
and I really appreciate that, man.
Well, I think with me also, it's the fact that I've got a knowledge of football, obviously, but I'm not as astute tactically as some of you guys. That you comes out and think, oh, well, I didn't think of that. So in a way, when I talk about the game, it's how I feel about the game, that mental thing, and that sort of that. About it, because football is a passionate thing. Music's a passion for me. It's all about passion, and it gets inside of you, and it's about letting that out, and it's So that's but thank you.
So what I've seen of your music is very similar, man. It's very similar. It's very much about your experiences.
Yeah.
So my only suggestion would be give us a little backstory too on top of the songs.
I think the reason There's two reasons I haven't done that. One is because I haven't worked out how to put the lyrics are important to me. I haven't worked out how to put the lyrics on the song. So when you're watching the song, you're seeing the lyrics come up.
Yep,
so that's
which
why
is doable. You can figure that out.
So that's why I put that in the description. And the other thing is that all the songs have a meaning behind it. There's a reason I've written the songs.
Yep.
But sometimes music is for other people to interpret. So. I mean, obviously, if you read the lyrics, you'll have an idea what the song's about anyway. But sometimes it's for others to it. So I don't want to say, oh, this song's about this, because someone might think, oh, I didn't think that. I actually thought it was about something else.
Yeah. You got very PhD level art student on me right there.
Oh, thank you.
I'm gonna have to defer to that again.
I went to comprehensive school in England and Australia. So actually, it's funny. What was that Bill Nicholson book again that you had?
Football's Perfectionist.
Right. I actually, Hackney's quite close to where I was born. I actually was born in Hackney. So, I don't remember living there. I was only there until about 3 or 4. I used to live in Haringey, but I might ring up the Hackney Library tomorrow and ask if they've got it.
See if they're missing something, boy. Man, somebody's making a packet off of Amazon.
You know what? I've never heard that ever. That's so funny. That's so funny.
Brad, what would you say to William Kelly here? He says, "Play the guitar naked, Brad. That'll raise some eyebrows."
Yeah, William Kelly, like many people, hasn't seen me naked, so
it should be naked with a cowboy hat on. That's what it should be.
Oh, there's a guy on YouTube, isn't there, that does that? I think.
I don't know.
Times Square for the last 20 years, it's the naked. Times Square, New York, it's the naked cowboy. It's been 3-4 different guys, and each one of them's you don't want it. You don't want it.
Well, I'm hopefully to be able to find someone that can play along with me, or play bass or whatever, and that's what I'd like to do, and have someone with the camera sort of filming me and sort of doing it as just like a proper. That's the ultimate idea. Whenever that's going to happen, I have no idea. But I don't think the playing guitar naked is going to happen just yet. But
you never know, William. You never know, my man. We'll try and get it done for you. If that's what you want to see, William, we'll try and get it done for you, my man. But look, Brad, brilliant as always, man. Really enjoy you coming on. Best of luck with your channel. Hopefully you have more songs. I'm sure you have plenty of songs of playing, following Spurs as long as you have, my man. But Brad, absolutely brilliant as always.
Thanks, guys. And Nick, you're very, very good coming off the bench for Jack. Absolutely brilliant.
I appreciate that, man. I got big shoes to fill. Big shoes to fill. And I know because I've been at his house and I've seen his shoes.
Oh, really?
Jack's actually deceivingly tall. He's deceivingly a big enough man, actually.
Listen, man, I met Jack. I'm not a short guy myself, man. He's got a half an inch on me.
Oh, but look, we better keep this moving. We've still got guests to go. So, Brad, it's been an absolute pleasure, brother.
Cheers, guys. I'm going to switch my TV on and watch the rest of the show on TV because it's more comfortable.
Enjoy, Brad. Everybody, Brad, a lot of love in the comments. Get over, smash the subscribe on his channel, and give the guy support. It's a brave thing to do to put your own music out there. So, Brad, big yourself up. We'll see you soon, brother.
Cheers, guys. Good night.
See you, Brad. Good night. Absolute legend. Absolute channel legend there, Brad Boy. Everybody do get over and check out the Blue Sofa songs. We've got another super chat here from William Kelly. Says the problem is for set pieces is we need a commanding centre back. We do not have that. Dyer is not commanding in the air. Davies will lose his place to Langley. Sign a commanding centre back, please. Do you know what, Brad? I agree with you. Or Nick, sorry.
William.
Fuck that. Do you know what it is? I'm getting so warm. I need to go and get my cooler. But William, I could not agree more with you. Look, when it comes to Dyer, people tell me he's a leader. He's bilingual, and he's not a leader. He's not a leader because he doesn't go and win them balls. He doesn't have the desire or the hunger to do it. He's constantly getting pulled out of place. When I see goals that are happening that are down to communication, well, if he's your leader, then it's a big problem because he ain't communicating. I don't think Dyer is the best ability-wise either. I think we can do so much better than him. I agree with you as well. I do think Langley will end up coming in and replacing Davies. Look, as good as a season as Davies had last season, he's been okay this season as well. But for me, I think Langley is just better. Nick, anything you want to say to
David, man, I really like Dyer, man. I like who he is, what he says, and I think he is a very good player. But there are elements missing from his game. And he is not the leader that is going to win us titles. And it just comes down to that. We need to pay the money for that replacement. It's not a backup. It's a replacement. And Dyer has his play. I do not want to see him leave. I don't want him to be sold. And I don't think he does either, man. He's a smart man, and he bleeds lily white. And I absolutely love it. But he's been here long enough. He's been here long. He's almost ready for his testimonial. Do you
know what my problem is with him, Nick? It's just like I shouldn't have to wait 8 years for him to eventually turn up in his Spurs jersey.
Right.
But not only that, it's just he's not good enough. He's not good enough for Tottenham Hotspur at centre back. There's a reason why Maguire, Tyrone Mings, players like that are being picked ahead of him. It's just no coincidence Gareth Southgate's not picking him. He obviously sees what I see in him. And look, for me, where I want to go, Dyer is not a centre back. that will keep enough clean sheets or organise that defence too, that's going to win you titles. And that's what I want at the end of the day. Look, if I want top 4, okay, Dyer's good enough. But for me, I've got top 4 back in Champions League. Now I'm pushing on my aspirations. And there's so many holes in Dyer's game. Not vocal enough, not a leader, doesn't lead by example on the football pitch, not aggressive enough, out of position an awful lot of times. I think there's an awful lot of weaknesses to his games, and I just want to centre back in here. And I think so many people will see the difference. It's like back at the time, some people used to say to me, "Oh, but Dave, Winks this, Winks that. Bring in Bentancur." No one talks about Winks anymore. They all see the deficiencies in his games, and I believe bringing in a centre back will actually show people a lot of the deficiencies in Dyer's game. Do I agree with you that he should be sold? I've changed my mind on that one recently. I don't think he should be sold. I think he should be kept as a squad player, but I don't think he should be starting week in, week out.
Yeah.
But big up, William.
100% agreed. Yeah.
Big up, William. Really appreciate the support, brother. Top man. I sent you the link, by the way, as well. You text me saying, could you come on? I sent the link if you want to come on, my man. And Ellie, if you still want to come on, hop on there and we'll squeeze you in. We've got KPV. I believe Ian's left. I think Ian might be busy. I'm not sure where he's gone.
Yeah, Ian, I kind of wanted to see. I've never seen Ian before, man. But KPV.
Hello.
How you keeping, brother?
Good.
Big smile on your face?
Yeah. Yeah.
What has you so happy?
That's good to see, man. That's good to see. You know, I've never gotten the privilege, man, to be on a stream with you before, brother. But I see you all the time on We Are Tottenham TV and on this channel, man. Big up, brother. Man.
Any questions you want to ask KPV, Nick?
Well, you know what, man? So KPV, okay. My first question is: are you happy with the performance on Saturday, or are you not so happy?
Like, I'm gonna say, as I said on Me or Tottenham TV, I was half happy with the performance, and like Højbjerg, he's now scored in 2 big games. One was against Liverpool when we lost 3-1 2 seasons ago, and now he scored against Chelsea. So 2 big games he scored in. Home Liverpool, away at Scunthorpe Bridge, as I said. It's Scunthorpe Bridge, not Stamford. It's Scunthorpe Bridge.
I love that. Yeah. How do you really feel about them, Cara? Tell us. I feel like you're holding back, my man.
I think, first half we were shit. Like, as everyone said, we were shit. Like, they were the better team, Chelsea. Then, I don't know what the hell Dyer and that were thinking about not stopping Koulibaly's goal from going in. That's the problem. I think you said, Dave, conceding goals is the problem, I think.
Everyone's waking up to that now. Everyone seems to be waking up to that. Before it was like, no, Dave, you don't know what you're talking about. We need a calm. And now all of a sudden, defense, everyone's panicking. It's like I've been trying to tell you all preseason.
Yeah, we need another centre back who can stop goals from going in. I don't know. I think the guy from Udinese is centre back, is he?
Who do you know?
No. He's a right back, right wing back.
Yeah, that's the defender though. Position.
Yeah, he is a defender though.
But I'm still a bit annoyed. But the funny thing is, Thomas Tuchel is the one who actually started the fight, and he should have been sent off for doing his Mourinho impression, going 2-1 up, celebrating. Give it a break. You got done over yesterday. You got done over. Give it a break. We didn't rob you. You just need to accept the fact that we got a point, and Kane loves a goal in this fixture. That's 5 goals for him. Kane is the king of London derbies. Romero, he done what he did to Coquerella. He should have been sent off, Coquerella, for stamping on Romero's ankle.
Absolutely, bro. Absolutely.
Yeah, how did he not get sent off? He shouldn't be sent off when he was at Brighton this year. We lost 1-0, but he should have been sent off. How has he not been sent off? That's ridiculous. And I hear Chelsea fans crying, oh, they've been robbed. Do one. You're shit. You got lucky at Everton. You were poor still, and you're still shit. get over it. Like, I'm going to say, Tuchel's going to be sacked first. Like, if they play like this in the next few games, when they come to our house, we're going to destroy them. Like, they always seem to beat us when we play them at home, but I'm done. Like, we need to beat these lot.
Couldn't agree more. I could not agree more. What do you think of Romero getting revenge on Cucurella, though? Right type of revenge for you, Kyle?
Yeah, he got some retribution on Cucurella because, like,
I'm sure you thought you were watching WWE, were you?
Romero, like, he's Ledley King. Like, yeah, Lady King probably would have done the same thing, but yeah, like, Romero never forgets.
Never.
He takes no prisoners. He doesn't take no for an answer, and he wasn't having it. So revenge, and like, he's better than the whole Chelsea team. Like, I don't know what Tuchel's moaning about, but his comments about Anthony Taylor are being investigated, so he won't be able to be on a touchline for their next game. Like, but Conte, I love it. I saw his Instagram story saying that you're lucky I didn't see it because I would have made you trip over. Like, I would have loved to see that happen. I would have done the same thing. I would have made Tuchel trip over. Everyone would have. But apparently, I heard Drew McIntyre is going to speak to the officials about making them set up for a match at Clash at the Castle. Like, no, that's something I'd be really looking forward to see. Conte wins in a fight, easy. Conte would show the move forth.
What would Conte's signature wrestling move be, Kyle?
Clay, I think it would be the bro kick, like Sheamus does. Bro kick, and Tuchel will not be able to get back up. 1, 2, 3. Your winner, Antonio Conte, and Conte wins. Easy, but yeah, people are still a bit upset with Kulu's performance, but he was brilliant, I think, in half of the game, but he's actually got more goals than Luis Diaz has, even though those lot from Everton City just drop points. That's good for us, and we're gonna beat Wolves because they're as fierce at home. But yeah, like, we need to start the new signings. I don't know why Conte's not started them. They need to be starting. I'd start Perisic, Young, and maybe start. Yeah, I think.
Well, Kyle, we've been through the first two matches now, and I think maybe that maybe has something to do with how Conte wants to see what the weaknesses are. I have a feeling that we're going to start to see the new signings start. I especially we haven't talked about it, but Bissouma. Bissouma came on 70th minute around then. What do you think? What do you think? Do you like what you've seen so far?
Yeah.
Do you want to see more?
Yeah, I like what I've seen from him. Like, celebrating when Kane equalised, and he ran to a few of the Spurs fans standing on the blue, wherever it is, bit of tape, and he just celebrated when Kane equalised. Like, that's what I want to see more from him. He was Brighton's, I think, best player last season, but that's what I want to see more from him. Like, he's already a Tottenham legend for stopping Arsenal from getting top 4 in 2019 under Unai Emery. Like,
true enough.
Yeah, he's already a Tottenham legend, so big up to him. So
where do you remember all these stats from? You're well able to read them off. Anytime I watch you on here, we are Tottenham TV. You're just a stat man. You're giving Jack a run for his money.
Yeah. I just watched some highlights from the old games from the previous seasons, and I know Luca's birthday was the other day, but I just want to wish our Amsterdam hero a happy belated birthday. Yeah, because he's the one that got us to that Champions League final, not Harry Klaas there. I don't know why Poch didn't start Lucas. Like, honestly, man, Lucas is brilliant. I know people want him gone, but I actually like him. He's got 2 hat tricks already, but yes, hopefully he can score, but I don't think Conte's going to start him. But yeah, Son's going to come good. Son's going to score against Wolves. Kane, Kulu, like, yeah, I think, yeah, we got Wolves. and then I think it's West Ham and Nottingham Forest, or Nottingham Forest first, then West Ham. But yeah,
Kyle, I'll have to go on holiday against West Ham. They'll try and cancel me again. I'll have to take the week off.
Yeah, anyway, the Spammers are not doing good. They lost to Man City and got done by Nottingham Forest. So I think we're going to win those 3 games. And then, like I said it before the Saints game, we'll go unbeaten in August. And it looks like it's going to continue. And I'm still unbeaten in the Italian Job t-shirt. I'm still unbeaten. I've not lost. Yeah.
Yeah. Get another one, Kyle, man. Just get another one so you can rotate, man. You know what? Hey, buddy, you brought up something that's very interesting here about Lucas Moura. It's it just came out from some of the journos earlier that he's had 3 different offers, during this window. One from an English club, one from a Saudi Arabian club. We're probably going to pay big money, as we know, and one from an Italian club. But we've turned down those offers. Now, do you think that that's the right decision? Do you think we should keep Lucas? And, why do you think we should keep Lucas?
I think it's the right choice to turn them down because Saudi Arabian clubs, I don't know what teams there are in that league, so no chance. I think we should keep Lucas until, let's say, I don't know, January time and see who comes in for him because he's done pretty good since we bought him from PSG. But I think we should keep him until at least January. But I like the guy. I think he's brilliant. And he said he will always love Tottenham, like Kulusevski. And so keep him until January and see who comes in for him. I don't know who wants him. Southampton, Carl Walker-Peters maybe. Southampton would be good. If anyone agrees, then...
Yeah.
I agree with you, man. I agree with you because I don't think that there is a point of selling Lucas. I think that Lucas serves a purpose, even if it's just, as an impact player.
Do you think he's good around the dressing room, Nick? Because you see a lot of videos coming out and he's always there.
I think we've known that for a long time, man. I think that he is our South American Brazilian ambassador, not just Brazilian, but all South American, that he is the guy that embeds the rest of the players that we're a little bit worried whether they're going to acclimate into the culture, into, coming into England for the first time. Lucas Moura is... Have you ever heard anybody say anything bad about Lucas Moura, even opposition?
No,
I have ever said anything bad about him.
No, I don't think I've heard anyone say that.
I get Ardiles vibes off of Lucas. Maybe not end product. Maybe not end product, but I'm talking about just what he does in the dressing room.
Yeah. But look, KPV, we've a couple more guests to get on, my man. It's been a pleasure, brother. As always, it's been a while, actually. So come here. Anything you want to say to Spurs fans before we let you go?
Yeah, I'm going to say the same what the other said. Get behind the team, 100%. No matter how bad we play, we still back the team. Get behind them, and we can achieve something this season. We're going to win a trophy. It's coming. I don't care what those lockdown Seven Sisters Road say. They can do one. They can go back to Woolwich. North London is ours, and we are a bigger club than those lockdown Seven Sisters Road. I don't care what they say. So get behind the team and back Conte, and we can achieve something. And as always, come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.
Yay!
Big up, kid. We'll let you go off and watch your wrestling. I know you have Triple H on in the background.
Triple H.
Big up, KPV.
Big up.
Much love, brother, man.
Much love, man. Big up.
Everybody give KPV an absolute legend. I love him. He just puts a smile on people's face. Give him a lot of love in the comments. William Kelly says Lucas is going nowhere. Look, I don't think so either. Apparently that offer from Saudi Arabia, he was going to pick up the best wages he's ever picked up in his entire career. So, the fact that we've turned it down, I just think we've turned him down. I believe he's a massive part of the dressing room, to be honest with you. I think you see videos coming out. He's all the new signings, they're always constantly speaking to him. He helps a lot of players in. I just think he's a massive part of the dressing room. And I just don't believe he's not going anywhere. And I know he's got a year left on his contract. But
there's something else to be said about that.
To extend that.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if they're willing to let him run down his contract, that means there is more value for him to be at the club right now than there is to sell him.
Yeah, but we're not under any pressure because we have an option to extend it by a year anyway. So, we could come January and we see it extended, Nick,
Yeah, don't be surprised about that. Yeah.
Look, do I think he's good enough for Tottenham? I don't. But at the end of the day, he's good around the dressing room. He's never put a foot wrong. No other managers that we've had have ever come out and said a bad word about him, about behaviour, attitude, anything like that. So I think you're spot on, Nick. I think he's got to stay. But big up William Kelly, my man. Really appreciate the support. Speaking of William Kelly, here he is. Let's get him on.
Oh, man. The Oracle himself, man.
Will Oracle.
I got to say, William, this is an honor and a privilege, but I gotta say you were probably my least favorite Harris Army man of the last season, my brother. Man, you wound me up like nobody else did.
Why?
And I give it up to you for that. Thank you. Yeah.
I'm sorry. Really I'm sorry, buddy.
How's life anyway, William? How's life down under? How's it treating you?
Yeah, not too bad, Davey. It's all good. Yourself?
Good.
Can't complain.
What's your assessment of yesterday's game, brother?
First thing I want to say is I had yourself and Jack on the watch along, and the reason why I sent in that message saying, just relax, we're not out with this game. Davey, you got to watch your fucking blood pressure, man. You have a heart attack.
During the game, I got text.
No, for real now. I'm being honest. You've got to watch your blood pressure, man. And what I noticed in the chat as well was that so many people were getting so wound up, and I just sat there comfortably going, "This is all tactics." Tuchel he does it every time. He tries to nullify the other team's attack. He's well known for it. That's the reason why he doesn't have any good strikers, because strikers can't play his game.
Uh-huh.
He focuses everything on nullifying the other team. And to be honest with you, Conte found a way around it, and we came more into that game. And I knew we would. And to be honest with you, that wasn't about a performance yesterday. That was about getting a result. That's all that mattered. Because what message we're sending now is, we've gone to Manchester City, we've beaten them in their backyard, we've gone to Liverpool, and we've got a result. We've now done it at Chelsea. The last one in the jigsaw is to go to the Emirates, and I believe that's the hardest one, because they're going to be double fired up against us. So if we can get through that one and get a result, I think we can win this title this year. I really do. I really think we can win this title, because I think if we're within touching distance of Manchester City, and like you said before, Davey, one of those teams has to fall off. I think it's going to be Liverpool, myself. I think they've kept up with City long enough, and you can see slowly now the wheels are starting to come off that. It's hard to keep that going.
Yeah.
But I genuinely believe, that's why I put $1,000 on Spurs to win the league. I believe they're going to do it.
We're unbeaten so far it's coming good, William. I mean, looking at the first half, first of all, actually, I've got two questions. I want to know why everyone keeps telling me I need to watch my blood pressure, because you said it. Jack texted me during the game yesterday. My parents say it to me. What's wrong with me?
Matt, you are exactly what I was 10, 15 years ago watching football. The difference is I'm older, I'm wiser, and I actually like to sit down now and watch a game properly. So I like to watch what tactics is going on, and how the whole game is unfolding. And I could see that we were going to come back into that game. It was only a matter of a few substitutions and just a few tweaks that would change that. And I just want to give a big shout out to Richarlison. All right, his touch mightn't have been great, but he changed that game yesterday. He changed it massively because he put us on the front foot. And then you see someone like Perisic. You just see the beauty of those crosses that he puts in is unbelievable, you know? And look, I can see Sessignon losing his place definitely to Perisic. I can see Davies losing his place to Longley, definitely. Davies is not good enough, man. He's good as a squad player, that's about it. He's just not good enough to be in that team. I think, like you said, I think Conte just wants to give these, you know, you can't just throw all the new players in at once like that. Yeah. He's going to bed them in slowly but surely. You're going to see a different change in Tottenham. I would drop Son. I would drop Son. Wow, I would drop Son. Yeah. I would play Richarlison against Wolves. I think he deserves it. Son, for me, he'd done that last year as well. And the only reason why Conte kept going with it is because he looked to his bench and he had no one else to change, basically. He couldn't trust Bergwijn. He wouldn't trust Bergwijn. You know what I mean? So he can trust Richarlison. That's the whole thing. And the thing that Richarlison gives us is that grit, that fight. Look at his face, like what Philip said earlier on. Just look at his face. He's fucking fired up to the last. He wants to kill someone on that field. I love it. You know, we are not Spursy anymore. That shit tag can go fuck off with Alex Ferguson because it's done now. We're going to go to all these other way grounds and we're going to kick the shit out of people, pull their hair, spit on them, bite them. Who gives a fuck? We're going to do exactly what they used to do to us. Yeah. And it's about time we give it to all them back what they deserve. And those Chelsea fans screaming and crying about it. So it's okay for Rudiger to drive the boot into players like he did last year. But as soon as we do something to them, they whinge about it. Yeah, I don't care. I laugh at them now.
I couldn't agree more. I think it's absolutely fantastic to see. Look, I think obviously from where we are, William, like where we're from, Ireland, I mean, there's a certain way you play the game of football over here, you know what I mean? So I think that's why we admire the sort of shithousery and stuff like that. You know, it's great to see. Like, you got to stand up for yourself. You can't be weak out on the pitch and look for your manager to come in and save you. You're the one out there. You've got to do it. I couldn't agree more. Nick, anything you want to ask William?
Well, you know what, William, man, I really appreciate your opinion. Not that I agree 100%. But, you know, just for somebody to come out and say, you know, hey, maybe we may need to make a major change just to make major changes in the squad. You know, like, you know, bringing Sonny out for this Wolves game. You know, we spent $60 million for a reason, you know?
Yes. It's time to use it. Yeah, definitely. And I just think sometimes, well, look at the message it sent to Kulusevski when he got dropped.
Exactly.
And he came back and he played even better. You know what I mean? Like, I don't fault Kulusevski yesterday. He was just being man-marked out of that game, basically. And like what somebody said earlier on, Son is better when the ball is over his head rather to his feet because he does get boxed in a little bit. I mean, people go, Kane wasn't in the game. But they weren't in the game because we were under pressure too. At some stage in that first half, it did look like we were going to fold like a deck of cards. You know what I mean? And I think if Chelsea had a decent striker, I think we would have been dead and buried in that first half.
Oh, they would have annihilated us. Like, we have to remember, Lloris pulled off a great save against Havertz. Sterling missed a sitter when it was easier to miss and score than miss. You know, we got away with it yesterday. The performance was absolutely woeful. But the side of a great team, when you don't play well, you get out of there with a result. You dust yourself down.
We spoke about that last year, Davey. We spoke about that last year. It's not about performance. It's about results. Yeah. And Conte would be the first one to tell you that. The only way to win a title is get your results. If you speak to someone like Alex Ferguson, he'll tell you the same thing. It's about getting results on the board. Get them early and get ahead of steam, basically.
Yeah. THFC Tim Dice says, big up my Irish brother. The Oracle is here.
No, I'm no Oracle, man.
Big up, Dermo. Well, you sent the fan base into fucking raptures last season, saying we were going to miss out. You know, that's what you did.
Oh man, and everything you were saying was coming to true too. It was coming true up until the last game of the season.
Well, to be honest with you, she did tell me, okay, that we narrowly missed out on top 4. But when I asked how did Arsenal finish, it would just kept saying no. I'm not giving that information, so I just didn't know that last bit.
We got lucky last year. Newcastle.
We got lucky. Yeah. Let's be honest. We didn't deserve that top 4. Like, let's be honest. Arsenal threw it away, and they know they did. You know what I mean? We got extremely lucky, and I don't care anyway. It just moves us forward. To be honest with you, Champions League, all right, it's great having Champions League, but Conte's not after a Champions League. He's after a league title. So if we don't perform in the Champions League, don't think anything of it, because Conte couldn't give a flying fuck about it, to be quite honest with you. He wants titles. And if you want to be top in any of your profession, winning Champions League is all well and good, but it's not seen as your peers, which is all the other top clubs in England or any league campaign across Europe or the world. You have to win your league titles. That's what you have to win, and that's what Conte's after. He wants to win that title this year. He might say we're not. No, he'll say in the press conference and stuff, we're not after it until we get to a point where we are close. And wait till you see that he'll change his tune pretty quick. But we do need a commanding centre-back. We are so lacking in that defence. And if you look at the first goal that was scored for Chelsea, you watch Dyer. He gets sucked into the ball. There was no need for him to go in for that header. He was never going to win it. He was miles away from it. If he actually took 2 steps back, left Romero where he was, and didn't get sucked in, that ball would have been easier to cut out. But he doesn't see those things, though. You know what I mean? He just goes flying in without a thought in his head, and then it's too late. Like even one of those tackles where I think it was Reece James got down by him. You know, he just sold himself. Just stay on your feet. Look at, if you want a class defender to look at Van Dijk. Look how he defends. It's not through diving in and being reckless. It's about keeping the player on his feet, keep pushing him to where you want him to go, not where he wants to go. And if you watch Van Dijk, he does it perfectly. Eric Dyer, he's a squad player at best, but he is not going to win us a league title. And I really, really, really hope we get a commanding centre-back, because we need a commanding centre-back. And I want Lenglet in instead of Davies. I want Davies out there.
I agree. You look at Liverpool, right? When they got to the Champions League final against Real Madrid, even that whole season, they were conceding a lot of goals, but just outscoring teams. Then the final, you know, the keeper, the maybe lack of a centre-back who was exposed. What did they go and do? They went inside Virgil van Dijk and they went inside the keeper. And look at the difference a quality centre-back can make to your team. They went on to beat us in the Champions League final. They went on to win cups, went on to win a league title. And for me, I think that's where we're at now. We can't keep relying on having to outscore teams. At some stage, we have to rely on that back line. And that's why I truly believe that centre-back will make that massive difference. The evidence is there from what Liverpool done.
It's huge, Matt. It's absolutely huge. It's going to be the defining moment in Tottenham's season. Because if we continue with Davies and Dyer, we're fucking not going to win a league title, unfortunately. It's not going to happen. And we will struggle to fight with Chelsea for top 4. You know what I mean? And that's no good. That's not what Conte wants to be. I can guarantee you behind closed doors, him and Don are working on getting a centre-back. But he wants the centre-back that he wants. He doesn't want to just grab anyone. Yeah. It's not about that.
That's what I'm worried about, William. That's what I'm worried about. Is that I don't think we're going to get it, because I don't think that the one that they want is available right now. Is that profile? And I think it's going to hurt our season.
You could be right, Nick. Yeah, definitely. It might be a problem. But in saying that, though, as long as we keep in that top 4 this season, and then they go next summer and they sign that centre-back, you know what I mean? And they fill up a couple of spots. Like, look at Adoji. He signed for next year. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's clever business.
Yeah.
They've already pointed him out. They've already seen that he has the attributes to be a good wing back. So he's already looked at.
Let me ask you on that, William. Is that Perisic's replacement, or is that because they don't think Sessegnon is good enough on a consistent basis?
I think they don't think Sessegnon is good enough on a consistent basis. Be quite honest with you, Davey. Look, I like to see Sessegnon do well, but he definitely, when it comes to the big matches, he goes missing, and it's not good, you know. Yeah. You just can't have that. You can't have that. But that's fine. If that's the case, then you put Perisic in there, because he doesn't go missing on big occasions. And you bring in. Yeah, and you just rotate. Look, they're all there to be rotated at the end of the day. So if like the likes of Son is not playing well, which he's not playing well, do you give him another match, or do you bring in Richarlison? This is the question that Conte has to answer, you know? Like I said, you don't need to question that man. He's got under control. He'll sort it out. I've everything in him.
Couldn't agree more, William. I could not agree more, my man. Anything else you want to say to Spurs fans before we let you go? Because we still have one more guest, my man.
Yeah, just don't take me too serious, man. When I put in my super chats.
So, listen, sometimes it's hard not to, but man, because it seems like you know exactly what you're talking about. You know,
no. I'll let you in a little secret, Nick. I don't.
Well, listen, William, on that note, man, I want to just leave off on my impression of what your fortune teller's predictions were last year, you know, which I really held to heart for a long time. But what my old Welsh granny used to say is that making predictions is not throwing darts, it's throwing grenades.
Yes.
All right? As long as you're close, it's a result.
Yeah, I couldn't care that.
What I will say is, Will gets a lot of flack for that, but what people need to realise is if Newcastle didn't do us that favour, we would be sitting here in Europa League this season. So, you know, it would be true enough. You can't predict that Newcastle are going to do everything at the time. So, but look, William, it's been a pleasure, my man.
Yes, boys, absolute pleasure. Lovely to meet you, Nick, by the way.
You too, William. Yeah. Big pleasure, man.
All right, boys, great show, and thanks for having me on.
No, I appreciate it. Anytime. William, it's actually been a while. You need to get more. You need to get you back.
I know. It's tough sometimes, Matt. It's just a time difference and stuff.
Yeah.
I
get it.
I'm at work at the moment.
Well, fuck work, lad. You know, Spurs are more important, my man. Spurs are more important.
I know they are. They are more important.
But look, give my best wishes to the kiddo, my man, and go and enjoy your day down, brother.
And watch your blood pressure, all right?
Oh, man, everyone's saying it to me. I can't help it. I mean, I was pissed off at what I seen yesterday. You know, I couldn't help it. But everything's rosy when it's not. It wasn't.
It'll be no good if you're 6 foot under, Matt. It'll be no good to you. You know what I mean?
If you do, it'll be because of Tottenham Hotspur on my gravestone. So, my parents are a fan. We'll see you again.
David. See you, boys. Cheers.
All right, all the best, William.
See you.
Come on, you Spurs.
Come
on, you Spurs.
Absolutely love that. Big up, Will. You gotta love William. You got to love him. He's an absolute gentleman. I love him, and I love his opinions as well. Great opinions. Look, let's get on the last guest of the evening, and she is Højbjerg's #1 fan. It's Ellie. How are you keeping, my lady?
That's right, I am. Yeah, I'm really well. I was listening to William and cracking up. He's such a funny guy. He's fantastic. He makes me laugh every time in the chat when he comes on. He's got to come on more. That's what I say. Yeah.
He does.
Yeah.
He does. But look, Ellie, you must be happy after Højbjerg scoring yesterday, huh?
Oh, my God. I think my whole neighbourhood have moved out because I screamed. I went outside. I've lost my voice, actually. So if I sound a bit hoarse, it's because of Højbjerg. It's his fault.
Ellie, you and me both, because after Chelsea's first goal came in, I was a silent man. I wasn't talking to anybody. The kids were right over here. They were playing with the Legos, everything like that. After Højbjerg's goal went in, they ran downstairs immediately. They ducked and covered. They thought the world was coming to an end.
Yeah, they're good kids. They're good kids. The thing is, we scare our kids, we scare our pets, we scare our neighbours with all our screaming. But the thing is, that's football. It's passion, isn't it, lads? You want to get in there. And when we scored that goal and we got back into the game, we got a new fire in our bellies, because before that we were totally flat. We couldn't get into the game, and we were outpowered, outmuscled, every area of the pitch. We were outplayed. We were outclassed.
What do you put that down to? Conte's tactics, or just down to the players' efforts?
No, I'll just put it down to Chelsea's players being superior than ours. Technically, they're fantastic, the way they move the ball.
Yeah, it was just
and also, Conte got it wrong, right? He played 2 in midfield. He should have put Bissouma in there as well, because they had 4 against 2. What do you expect Højbjerg and Bentancur? Bentancur went missing. He was nowhere to be found, right? And then in the second half, he came to a little bit, but not that much. And Højbjerg was left stranded. And then Dyer and Davies were woeful, both of them. Romero had a shithousery game, but he didn't have a particularly good game for his standards. But Emerson held the back line very well. He defended. The boy tried so hard, and he defended so well. I put my hat on him that he's going to come good, the boy, because everybody's criticising him. But he was the only player I could think of that really had a bit of oomph in his play in that first half. But the second half, we did pick up. Not that much, but when the goal went in from Højbjerg, you could see the players believed in themselves to get a result. And then do you remember when Sonny went through and James hacked him down? Why didn't he get sent off for that? They were saying about...
Yeah, good point. Good point. Yeah.
Do you know, it was disappointing, because he only had one man to beat. And Sonny, when he gets his head down and he's going for goal, he's going to score, But I think if that game went on another 5 minutes, we would have won that. We would have, because we had the ascendancy.
Yeah. The momentum was in our position.
Yeah.
And it had been, frankly, I think it had been since Richarlison came on, man. So,
yes.
Ellie, what do you think about Richie so far? So, what do you think about? Yeah.
I like him because he's really moody. He doesn't give anything away on his face. He's such a moody little sod, isn't he? He gets in players'
I used to
faces.
hate it. I used to hate it when he was playing for Everton and Wolves. I used to absolutely hate it. And, of course, I love it 100%. I love seeing it, and I think it adds something to, especially coming off the bench, man, especially when we need, a little bit of, a little bit of kicking your shins, a little bit of, just being ready to do whatever it takes to try to get something out of a game. The look on his face says that's what I'm there to do.
Yeah, you're coming cold off the bench and you have to pick up on a game that was quite high tempo. It was really high tempo and very aggressive and very passionate, right? So he had to come and pick up the pace of the game. And I thought he picked up the pace of the game very well. Perisic was another question. He was finding it a little bit hard, but that's understandable because he is carrying an injury, the boy. But the corner that he put in for Kane's goal, world class. And Richarlison's reaction to the goal, I loved it. You see his face when they slow-mo it. It's fabulous. It's what we live for, these moments, in football. It creates a desire within ourselves to push even ourselves as fans to be even better, When we go to the next match, we're going to give it our all, especially against Wolves, because we played, I think that was our worst game of the season, actually, last season, that Wolves game.
Was that Wolves game? Right. When you guys were there, right, yeah.
And he dropped Højbjerg for that game, and I was very disappointed. And it started to rain. Oh, my God, it was such a dreadful day. But we've got to put that aside. We've got to go into that match and show what we're all about, like we did against Southampton. Chelsea did to us what we did to Southampton. I thought, where's all our intensity gone? But like I said, I think Conte got it wrong. He should have put Bissouma in there to give us more welly in the midfield, and then we could have controlled the ball more. We would have been
Are
on
you
the
saying
ball more.
instead of
No, I think he
Bentancur?
should have. No, I think he should have played a 3-5-2. That's what
Okay.
I think.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
And then dropped Kulu and put Bissouma in there because Kulu needs a rest as well. Remember, he's only a young lad. What is he? 22?
I think there's something to be said for that. Yeah.
Yeah. He dropped him for a match last season, and he came back even stronger because his pride was hit as well. The boy, you drop him to the bench, and then he came on against Leicester, and then the next match he was superb again. So. Yeah, I just think we were over-muscled in midfield. They dominated, and because they were on the ball, we couldn't get it off them. They were zipping it past us left, right and centre. It was very disappointing, but the good thing is we grinded out a result. Yeah.
Do you know why we got outnumbered in midfield? Is because they've done what they've done to us previously. They were getting Mount to drop in and be an extra body, but they were also getting Loftus-Cheek coming out from right wing back, dropping in there when they were on the ball and pushing Reece James high up out right. And so it was basically in effect 4 against 2. And that's why they were just able to pop balls around us. And that's why Højbjerg and Bentancur looked so atrocious in that first half.
I know. You don't blame them, because how can you 4 against 2 and they're 4 fantastic players. They're not 4 average players. You've got 2 world-class players in Man and Conte. Then you've got Jorginho as well, who could zip a pass, And then you've got Loftus-Cheek, who became a man in that game. He was incredible, the way he was putting himself about.
Probably one of the best performances I've seen from Loftus-Cheek.
I've never ever seen him play that well. Never. Because when he was at Fulham, he was like half the player. Yeah. I just think they raised their game against us as well. Don't you think? They do.
We're their biggest derby. We're their biggest game. We're their cup final.
We are. It's like they've got an inner hatred for us.
Let me ask you this, Ellie. First of all, William Kelly says, Ellie, my date went well, so well, I can't get her out of my bed. Big up, William.
Well done. So he's getting some, isn't he?
hopefully she's willing and it's not a Fritzl sort of situation, William. But
do you know what I mean? Otherwise,
Ellie,
he'll have to see the clairvoyant again, won't he?
Big up, William. Yeah, Ellie, let me ask you this. Did Conte coming off injured for Chelsea change the game? Because he was exceptional for them yesterday.
Oh, no. What a player. He's fantastic. I just wish we had him. If he was in our midfield, we would have easily won that game because he would have been zipping the ball to Sonny and Kane all day, But the thing is with him, he's not just a fantastic player going forward. He can defend. He can hold the ball. He can see a pass. He's got every attribute. And he's a box-to-box midfielder, but he's a very technical player as well, I just thought he outclassed us. I was glad to see the back of him. I thought now we've got a chance. We've got a little bit of a chance. And we showed our colours in the end. All right, we gave him a bit of shithousery. But when you think about it, Romero got stamped on by Cucurella. And you don't do that to Romero. You do not do that to Romero.
Well, you don't do that to Romero without it. Yeah, you don't do that to Romero without expecting repercussions and consequences.
That's right.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah. And he took his hair, tugged it down, and there's all loads of hair all over the Stamford Bridge. It's now they're still cleaning it up, I've heard.
Yeah.
Ellie, when I first heard about the hair pulling, I said, no, that didn't happen. I'm sure that didn't happen. What happened probably was he jumped up and he got a clump of it caught in his hair, and it just got pulled down because the guy's running around there like a Tresemme ad. He's running around there like Vidal Sassoon, model. But I saw it back again, and obviously it was what it was. But my answer to that is there's a reason why Bale wears a bun.
Yes, true. And one thing you got to see, Cucurella was in his face all the time. He was pushing him, and he was digging him. So Romero thought, "You sod, I'm going to pull your hair down. Your hair's too long anyway. You should get a haircut." So he pulled
There's a
him
reason
down.
why most Sunday League players have short back and sides, Ellie. You know what I mean? Because they know what happens in Sunday League. You know, Romero just used the oldest trick in the book. You know, it's Cucurelli's fault. He should have had it braided, should have had it cut. You know what I mean?
Yeah. He probably said to him, "Go and see Fellaini. He'll tell you a story or two."
Yeah, Robert Hoot Fellaini. That was epic as well. That was good.
Yeah, I like Romero's shithousery because it shows that we've got kahunas to fight for our club, you know. Do you know what I mean? We've got a bit of kahunas. We're not going to lay down and die and lose the game. When we went 2-1 down, I still had faith that we were going to get back into the game. Because, you know, when you've got Kane up front, you've always got a chance. You've always got... Son was off it. He was totally off it. But you can forgive him one match. I don't believe that we should drop him because Sonny, at home especially, he's fantastic. He performs best at White Hart Lane.
Yeah,
Definitely.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And after the last two games, you know that he's not going to accept that level of quality. You know,
No.
we know what he's capable of. He has another game match at home. You know, let's just see what happens.
Yeah, and I think his dad will have a few words with him as well.
Right.
You know, because his dad is a mercenary. You know, he's going to say to him, look, son, you didn't have a good game. Next game, you'll be on the money, right? And give it your all.
Do you think it's down to all the bit of extracurricular activities that he seems to be doing lately? Because before they weren't there and he was absolutely flying. Since he started doing all these photo shoots and stuff like that, he hasn't performed.
Well, you never know because it's only 1 games. If he does it for 5 or 6 or 7 games, yes, it
Then
might
you
be
gotta
affecting
question.
him. Then you've got to question it. It's just 1 game. Every player's entitled to one bad game a season. Just hope that he doesn't continue it because then, I don't know, Sonny is one of my favourite players. Him and Højbjerg, I love them because they give their all for the badge, both of them. You know, and Harry Kane does as well. With Harry Kane, right, you know, when he doesn't play well, you know he's going to do something in a match. He will. He'll get you a goal. He was through on one shot and he just scuffed his shot and it went past the post.
And
But
you know how much it hurt him.
Yeah.
You saw it on his face.
It does. You see, he was punching the grass and he was so upset with himself that he scuffed the shot. Because you know Kane, he's lethal in front of goal.
I'll be honest, I actually expected him to finish it. I think he took the shot too early, first of all. I think he probably could have took another touch. But
yeah, he could have.
At the same time, him scoring right at the end of the game is the reason why you don't take Kane off the football pitch. Because he scores your goals. It doesn't matter. If anyone's more than likely going to put it in the net over the last 8 years, it's been proven it's Harry Kane.
Yeah,
and that's why
of course. His record speaks for itself, doesn't it, David? But another thing what William touched on was the centre-back situation. So now we've scored 6 goals and Man City have scored 6 goals. The difference is we've lit in 3, they've lit in a big fat 0. And that is the difference. Plus their defence is pucker. Our defence is not pucker. We need to strengthen. We need to strengthen. Otherwise, you know what? We could even struggle to finish top 4 if Kane and Son don't perform like they did last season. We could even struggle to finish top 4 with the defence that we've got currently because they're not good enough. They got torn apart by Chelsea. And there's even better teams than Chelsea in the league. They're not even the best team. And Arsenal are looking good. I've been watching Arsenal and thinking, bloody hell, they've stepped up and they've got that Saliba at the back. It makes them look more solid. He looks
decent at the minute.
Yeah, he looks decent. So we've got to be on our game. So we've got to strengthen. Otherwise, we're going to be left behind.
That's why I've been screaming out for a centre-back all last season, all summer long and all pre-season. You know, because it's just the goals we keep conceding. Set pieces is a massive problem. Look, it doesn't help that we're doing zonal marking instead of man marking, you know. you're just giving players free rein run at your back line and the momentum carries them. They win the header. It doesn't help that Dyer positionally is all over the shop at times. It doesn't help that he gave away the ball, I think, 17 times yesterday during the game as well. You know, it doesn't help that no one is commanding enough to go and win that header. You know what I mean? Like Dyer, for instance, pre-season, pulled out of shape. They ended up winning a corner against Roma. And then you're thinking, okay, Dyer, you made the mistake. Be the one to go and win that header. And he's rooted to the spot. It's kind of like, it just drives me mad. Yes, these players had okay seasons or good seasons compared to their usual standards. But compared to other defenders in the Premier League, bang average. And that's why, for me, we've got to get a centre-back in here. You've got to start keeping clean sheets. We kept 5 less clean sheets than City in the Premier League last season. Same as Liverpool. You turn, like, you keep them clean sheets, it probably turns into a win. 5-3s. Well, I failed maths in school. I don't even know what that is. It's too quick for me at the minute. But you close the gap on Liverpool and Man City, you know. And for me, that's the biggest difference right now.
I know. And also, right, I don't get fans who say Dyer had a good game. What game were they watching, for God's sake? He had a good game. If that's classed as a good game, what's classed as a bad game, man? He was all over the shop. And then for the corner, like you said, he didn't talk to anybody. And there was 3 players waiting to score a goal at the back post. 3 of them, not just one.
But this is my problem. People tell me he's a leader. If he's a leader, he's telling people, he's saying to Sonny, by the way, just be aware, Koulibaly is a massive aerial threat. Just be aware he's on your shoulder. He's screaming at Emerson. If he makes a run, be there. You know? He's screaming at people. That he's not a leader. He doesn't do that. He does not do that. I'm sick of people telling me this guy's a leader when he's not.
I know some fans have got favourites, like the 3 Spurs boys. One of the boys there, Jai. He loves Eric Dyer. You can't blame him. He's a young boy. He looks up to him. But when he gets older and he look back on how Dyer played, and he sees somebody like Koulibaly, world class. You know, he dominated their defence. We were actually when we scored, he was on the line trying to stop it. He just hit his leg and it went in. They said it was going to go wide, but it wasn't. It wasn't going to go wide. See, that's the sort of defender you want. And he's not even match fit yet. When he gets to match fitness, he'll be as good as Rudiger was. That boy.
You know what? That's another thing that disappointed me yesterday. He went down against Everton with cramps. They didn't test their back line too much in that game. And what annoyed me is you've got the likes of Sonny. Just get him running in behind him every single time. Pull him left, right, centre. He's not up to... Well, he wasn't. We made him look good yesterday, but he's not up to the level of the Premier League yet in terms of fitness. And we should have asked...
You can see that.
Very disappointed we didn't, because if he went down against Everton with cramp, Sonny could have ran him ragged and we might have got a bit more joy. But William Kelly says Romero was only checking for nits. So good of him. Look, at the end of the day, I have no problem with what Romero done. At the end of the day, he stamped on his leg. I'd rather my player get retribution and let people know, hang on, you're not going to fucking bully me, rather than not do anything about it and come out of the game screaming and crying because the referee didn't protect you. The referee's not going to protect you. Protect yourself. And that's what Romero done. No complaints whatsoever. Like William says, just checking for nits. THFC till I die says, big up to my THFC till I die sister. This lady is a diamond. Well, Ellie, do you want to plug Tottenham THFC till I die?
Yeah, our show's going well. We're getting more subscribers. More would be lovely. If we could get past 600 and then on to the 1,000, that'd be cool. Because then we could do more with our channel, you know, and we can invite more guests on, have fan cams like you do as well. You know, it's building a channel. We're all about the old and the new. So we want to bring some back of the times when we did our old watch-alongs as well and show old matches, because that got us a lot of viewers. I wasn't even on the channel then, but now I'm on. There's certain things that I like to do. I don't know. I think Dermot mentioned the Queen, the King and the Godfather. That was my idea. We're going to have a nice show with just 3 of us. It'd be cool, you know, and we'll talk about old times being Spurs fans. You know, because some people, they don't know what it was like to be a fan when we won trophies. They haven't seen us win. If you're 15 years old now, you haven't seen us win a trophy. You know, if you're 16, you just about made it. But these fans, they need to know about our history. You know, I was at the Le Royal Banqueting Suite, and there was a young boy there who must have been about 13, 14. He didn't even know who Glenn Hoddle was. And I thought, well, didn't your dad tell you? And he goes, no, I don't. My dad don't talk about football. I said, well, I sat him down and I told him all about Glenn Hoddle, showed him a few reels, and then he was well impressed. And I said, watch them, boys, because you'll learn how good we were. You know, because you're nothing without a club, without your history. Yeah. That's what you build on. It's building blocks. You go back, how did we win these trophies? What did we do different? You know, and you learn. And I think Conte's put in that, because Bill Nicholson's side, they were a very technical side, but they was hard as nails. You had Dave Mackay in defence, for especially. And then you had Keith Birkinshaw's era with Graham Roberts and Paul Miller. They took no prisoners. You see, now we've got Romero. We need another strong one. We need another strong centre-back who's commanding, who communicates, who's a proper leader to make us even more solid so that we can go and challenge and not finish fourth or fifth. I'm fed up with that. I want to finish first.
Look, I'm the same. For me, football's all about trophies. I played the game. It was always about winning for me. If I lost, I used to get upset. Even if we got to a final loss, it used to piss me off. I used to feel like a loser, you know. At the end of the day, it's all about lifting them trophies, kissing that silverware.
That's right.
And what I will say, Ellie, is got about, 2 weeks left of the transfer window to try and get the centre back. Hopefully we can do it. But look, everybody, I think we are going to end it off there. Please do get over and check out Ellie's channel.
What a great channel. THFC Till I Die, great channel. Irish Hotspur, great channel. And you know what? I love Shawnee's show, Spurs Talk Show, brilliant. And obviously my boys, the Free Spurs boys, I've got to give them a mention because I love those boys and I love Bobby Kay. What a great guy.
Big up Bobby
He's
K,
fantastic.
Man. Big up Bobby K.
There's so many Spurs channels
the
out
Couve
there.
and the Kang. Have you seen the Couve and the Can, lads?
Yeah,
it's really good.
Of course, every time.
It's brilliant.
Every time.
It's brilliant. And then you've got Tottenham and Tour with Brian Daigle. How can you forget Brian Daigle? No one can forget that man.
There's about 20 or 30 out there, which is great to see, by the way, because, I mean, when I started watching YouTube and all, it was all Liverpool, United, Arsenal and stuff. So it's great to see having that variety as Spurs fans. But look, we have been going 3 hours and 45 minutes now.
You've got to have your chips, isn't it, David?
No chips for me, Ellie. No chips for me. It's too late. Okay. No, it's 1:20 in the morning. I've got to go to bed. I'm absolutely shattered. But first of all, I want to say a massive thank you to all the guests that came on today. These fan shows are absolutely nothing without you guys. So I want to say a massive thank you to you guys. I want to say a massive thank you to everybody. Smash that like button, the subscribe button, and super chats to the channel. Really do appreciate the support, guys. It's absolutely relentless. So everyone beat yourselves up on a massive thank you. I also want to say, last but not least, a massive thank you to my man here, Nick, for stepping in for Jack today. Jack is away on a week's holiday. Not easy to step in on a fan show straight away and sit here with me for 45 minutes.
Been awesome.
A massive thank you to you, sir.
And a massive thanks from THFC Till I Die to you, Nick, for doing a fantastic intro. What a fantastic intro. You've got to watch it, everybody. It's absolute. And this is the man who did it. He's fantastic.
I appreciate that, Ellie, and I'm just gonna send my final thoughts off on that. What drew me specifically to what Dermot was doing is that I found David's channel through We Are Tottenham TV, and then one thing I was missing in my experience was I want to see what the opinion of the people who experienced the glory years and the matches that really built this club, and all of a sudden it was there in front of me, and just thanks to you and Dermot for putting this together, because that's you gave me something that I wanted, and all of a sudden it's there. Thanks to the YouTube Spurs community and to you guys.
Yeah, and a big up to the Mile High Hotspur, our USA sister. Oh my God, Leo Keogh, Coys, sorry, he phoned me up today to show me his Ledley King tattoo.
Nice.
He's doing it live while they're doing it, and he's phoned me up. What a geezer!
I couldn't deal with all the needles for a tattoo. I really couldn't. I'd end up passing out. But look,
thank you, David.
We are going to end it there.
Thank you,
massive thank you to everybody. Like I've already said, at the end of the day, didn't play well yesterday whatsoever. But the main thing is we got out with a point and we're still unbeaten 2 games into the season.
That's right.
Rollers, we dust ourselves down and let's go against Wolves, guys. I'll see you all back here tomorrow. As always, come on, you Spurs!
Come on,
you Spurs!
Right.